See if this thing's gonna let me do. Do the live stream thing. Or if it's gonna do the same thing it was doing yesterday. And I left my coffee in the kitchen. Hey, JC Miller, you're never the first one in here. What's going on? There's obviously a disturbance in the force. How's life? Everybody a chance to get in here, and we'll see if we can teach everybody how to count beans. You were the first one that commented. Well, I guess technically I am the first one here. We got D-Day Normandy, Ted Simonis. I don't know how to say her last name, dude. And JC. Y'all may have to excuse me because I walked in here and sat down and hit go live without grabbing my cup of coffee. Hey, Aid. And the missus is doing something. It's at that break point in the temperature where you're like, man, I want to turn the AC on, but you're like, it's not actually warm. Just calm down. You like my shirt? I like my shirt. It's going to be my new Sunday go to meeting shirt thing. You got my shirt, Rachel? Picked it out myself. I love this thing. Went out, put it on, went outside today around noon. The sun had to put his shades on. I like this shirt. Oh, we got Robert Moore, Aiden here. And I uploaded, I got to finish editing and then the mail call video. I have a mail call video in the queue right now. So, I think, let me check. Yes. Ooh, I want some brownies. Nice. He couldn't have done a better job. I couldn't have picked a finer shirt my own self. It's got all the right colors. Yes, sir. Was that the chocolate bars?
The Kona, not just
chocolate. Not just chocolate. Look, I get a free chocolate bar. Oh, really? Belgian milk chocolate.
But it has Kona.
Kona. This is Kona coffee.
Yes.
Is it like ground up coffee chunks? Like so when you chew on it, it's like Rice Krispie treats, but coffee. That actually doesn't sound horrible. Oh, the horse. Yay, smiled and ran away. All right.
Here, I'll give you half.
I get half of the chocolate. That is so not half.
Okay.
Like, was that one movie where the kid would always break the chocolate bar in half and then hold it out, and the one side would be bigger, so he'd bite it off and then give that one to the kid? What was the name of that show? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
That's flipping good.
Yours isn't old enough. So you
That was half to her. She's nice. She gave me another piece. That's flipping good. What's it got in it?
put a cup of coffee in.
Y'all just bear with me. I have to eat chocolate slow.
It's lying, the wrapper's lying up there again.
Oh, macadamia nuts. Coffee, macadamia nuts, and chocolate. Yeah, that's going to be kind of hard to go wrong with. Dior's, you're in charge. I have to go get the coffee. What I missed? Oh. I had to put somebody in charge this time when I got up and walked away, because I didn't last night. And there was a Sasquatch-led insurrection. I'm probably not getting another piece of this particular chocolate. Ordinarily, we would share if there was enough to go around, and y'all were here, and it wouldn't cut into our chocolate consumption. Other than that, we would share.
I told him I would share.
Oh, okay. Here, I'll let y'all smell it. Young, smell mine. Yes, man. You see the crunchy bits? It's got crunchy bits in it. Mm. It has chocolate. It's not like a really strong aroma. I'm gonna get chocolate in my mustache. The fingers aren't cold. They're just in there holding a hot coffee cup. How many people? No, that's close enough. Who in here has any idea how to do preparedness? I waited to BA's whatever was over before I whacked the trolls over there. because that derails them. They weren't actually out of line. They were just annoying. Chipper he can't, whatever, chime in on how to prep because he didn't even know step one was to get out of debt. He's been doing it like backwards this whole time. And honestly, people, if you're waiting for SHTF, you're backing up. I mean, think about it. How much more needs to hit the air redispersal device before you count this as something hitting the air redispersal device?
Yeah, they're out protesting now because Trump went over the fire area.
That was so they could start some more fires because Republicans are burning down California. It's the dumbest stab I've ever heard in my life. Okay, we'll do it quiz style. See if anybody actually reads the side chat when they come back and rewatch these things. What is, per person, not per household, but per person, what is the amount of water that the human body requires to exist on average a day? We'll see how many different numbers I come up with because it all depends on the area. But let's see how many different numbers we come up with. And no, I'm not going to answer until I see numbers. But what do we got? We got the boo flu. We've got the economy blew. We have a dog growling under my house. We have floods, drought, fires, hurricanes, riots, defunded law enforcement, countries losing their leadership all over the world. I actually did that once, C-103, just to see how it would turn out. Took the tea bags and instead of just steeping them, run it through the coffee. I cleaned all, I took all the coffee out of it, but then run it through the coffee maker. It makes really good tea. But the human body, on average, because you've got little ones and big ones and people with different. Yeah, what Dior said, but I think he Googled that. Um, but that's it. I mean, you have to prep gallon and a half a day, or what is it? I think they call it 3 liters. Some places, some platforms say 3 liters. Some platforms say 2 gallons. Some platforms say a gallon and a half. Some of them say 1 gallon. Uh, you could make it on a gallon a day here if you didn't do anything but sit. But you've got to remember that you're not. It's not only you don't only lose fluid through sweat. You have to urinate to stay alive. I mean, um, it's got to go. You have to salivate to stay alive. If you're eating uh, high protein and high fiber, it takes more water to digest. So you need more water. So that's one of a lot of people miss that. I mean, they're so used to being able to turn a faucet or push a button or literal. I mean, it's most of us know that we can walk up to the refrigerator with the glass, stick the glass in there, and it'll put water in it, or cold water, or you can get ice and cold water, or you can get ice and then whatever. You could drink less water and stay full longer, but then you wind up, I think they call it impacted.
I didn't Google it.
I was just messing with you, yours. But thank you for letting me know I was successful. Um, but if you're going to prep, basic prepping, that's what we're talking about. Basic prepping with the S's. You need a gallon a day. So if you're going to be, if you're just having storing enough stuff in your house for a 2 week emergency, and there's 2 of you, that's 40. You got to find some place to put 48 gallons of drinking water. That's a lot of space. Well, success is in the details, Chipper. It's the little things that's going to get you. Uh, everybody freaks out and runs away from tarantulas. Big scary spider. Uh, that's food, okay? But they never pay attention to the little black racer spider, which can make you sicker than a dog, or the little brown recluse, or the little tiny shiny black spider that's crawling around. Not all black widows are full grown. It's the little things. You have not lived, people, until you reach down and grab a cedar fence post to move it and put your finger in a handful of baby scorpions. You have not lived until you've had that. Just tell me. Feels great. It's the best. The only thing that could come anywhere close to that would be sticking your hand in gasoline and then putting it in the fire. It's the only thing that would come close. Hey, Killdeer. Hey, BDB. Yes, it's food. Yes, poke it with a stick right through the thorax. And after it quits wiggling, then you build a small fire and you roast it over the fire and burn all the hairs off, because the hairs will irritate your throat. And then you hold your nose and you put it in and you eat it. And no, I'm not doing it until I'm starving, but I've seen it done, so I know it's food. I mean, you are what you eat. So if you're willing to eat a lizard, which eats ants, you might as well go eat the ants, which are actually kind of tasty. If it wasn't so much fun to catch them, I might do a catch and cook red ant video. But that's a lot of work. Is it messing up? There was hair in my chocolate. Is it messing up? Let me see if I can do that. Let me close this. And what's that thing? See what I can do here. Oh, my broadcast quality got put back on high. Hello, let me change that. And they're not going to let me change it. Sorry, guys. You used to change it. I could set it on the 3 whatever. 380 or something like that. 480. It was blurry, and right now it's set on 720. And my desktop isn't even a 720 quality that camera doesn't do that high quality video. So it's actually splitting pixels and then re-sending them. It's the same picture. It actually lowers the quality. If I could say, it'd actually be a better quality if I could do it at 480 than the 720. But blah, blah, blah. I may have to call my internet provider and see what's going on. Or maybe I need to start. My wife got me that laptop. I need to start using it again. I have decided to throw down the money for the StreamYard, though. My little duck's going to go away up there. Hey, you and Dios want to come up? Y'all got anything to offer or anything to bolster our discussion about prepping? I mean, I think we've all figured out pretty much that bugging out, literally, getting out of Dodge or whatever, is like the last ditch thing. I mean, because the worst part about that is, the only way to do it successfully, in my personal opinion, is to literally bail on most of your preps. To me, bugging out means that I have to leave the location where I was planning on bugging in. You know, which bugging in is kind of a, we need to call it what it. I mean, sheltering in place. We're not bugging out or bugging in. You're sheltering in. Hey, werewolf survival. There's, if I go back there on my property, there's like mosquitoes, and them little boogers, they tore me up today. Well, I am, thanks to my lack of good sense, I got myself put on the let's make sure we know what Wes S is saying list. So I think I have both y'all's. I'll send the emails. Right to the talk. So flipping good. You know I'm on a diet, right? So, I'm a chocoholic. You know, Williams West. I'm a chocoholic. I will eat that stuff until I'm sick. Take a nap and get up and eat more. There's people in my contacts that I do not know who are. We'll try this. No, that's okay, Rachel. I do want to try bull kelp though. It sounds stupid, but I would like to be able to go to Alaska and spend a couple of weeks on the coast somewhere. I don't want to go do no survival challenge up there. No, I want to take a tent and a gun. Seaweed. I had that coming though. That was funny. It's cooled off enough. I'm thinking I've got to get to a point on this job I'm working on though. But I'm thinking about loading out and heading to Quachita or whatever, and doing a camp out thingamajigger. And see, we're talking Alaska, Hawaii, Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania, Nevada, California, Wyoming, Arkansas. Other than the basics, food, water, a place to hide out, everybody's prepping needs are different. See, like down here in my part of Texas, you've got to have water catchment. I mean, you just don't. People talk about having water catchment up in Oregon and um, places like that, where I mean, they can put out a 1,000-gallon tank, and in 2 rains, it's full. I'm like, why do you need, if you're gonna, if you got that much water, if it rains that much, why do you need that much rain catchment? I mean, people go an entire season without watering their garden at all. Why do you need rain catchment? I mean, not a major rain catchment. Down here, if my whole family showed up, we would have to have a minimum of 6 1,500-gallon rain catchment systems. Just in case the well went down. And see, like Alaska, they get a lot of snow and rain and stuff, but yeah, I think on the plains part of that thing, I mean, you got like mosquitoes that'll literally eat you to death in a few days. Y'all let me know. I sent those emails. Y'all let me know if you got them, or I guess I can keep watching, see if y'all can make it in. See, like down here, we need to keep a couple of blankets and a little bit of firewood on hand. Pennsylvania, if you had to heat your house and do all your cooking, I'm talking all year long, do all your cooking and heat your home and bath water, the whole 9 yards, how much wood would you have to stack up every year? Be honest. I mean, let's say you got 5 acres with trees on it. How long is that 5 acres of trees actually going to last you before you have to start cutting the neighbor's trees, who might get a little upset about it because he needs those? Hold on, let me see what it says. I sent it. It did. I sent it to Dior's at somewhere. Hold on. I don't read the email when your tag pops up. I just click that. Let me see if it says undelivered mail. This is like, so y'all probably got the circle of death right now. Y'all just deal with it. You can ask all you want to. I do not make financial donations to political parties. I didn't ask you to run. I'll vote for you. Blah 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 blah. I sent it to your Dior's one, the one gmail.com. Dior's with 2 numbers. And sent 8. I sent it to your Gmail both also. Tibor. And see, down here you can get away with a solar oven in the summer. There's Dior's. Oh, he's kind of scary looking. I don't know. May have to make him put one of those like the masks on so he doesn't scare everybody. I'm just joking. Well, how many times do you want me to click it? Oh, let me fix the thing. Whoa.
There we go.
You're in the basement, man. I was messing with you. I always leave people in the basement for a while. It's just funny. Aid hasn't commented, so he's like, oh, man, he invited me. Now he's got to go set up all his stuff up. So.
That was a lot more work than what I thought.
It's should be where you could just click a thing and go, but it's not. This is not Google Hangouts. I wish we still had Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts was cool.
Yeah.
Took it away. But seriously, I mean, they had to do something about Google Hangouts because it was technically a phone call and they can't monitor Google Hangouts because they have to have a court order because it's a freaking phone call.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And they don't. This is different. They can do whatever they want to on here. So, and it's basically the same thing. They just put it on a different place, but it's not a online phone call thing anymore. So,
yeah, I'll be right back. I go let this cat out. All right, come here. You want out? You've been freaking meowing the whole time.
He didn't kill his microphone.
Go. Hold on. Go.
And we hear meow splat. Cat goes out across the field and lands on the tree. Oh no, that would be Uncle.
All right.
We heard you throw that cat physically out.
Yeah.
You could have opened it first. When you hear meow thud,
Whoops. Thought he was going to open the doorknob as I threw him.
Yeah, my son's dog, they have to lock the door now because he's figured out how to open it from the inside. So they literally have to lock the door. Even when they can't, and so they have the door from one part of the house to the other part of the house. They had to put a locking doorknob in it, and there's a key in it, so they can lock it when they go into the other part of the house, so the dog can't follow, and then be able to get back into the other part of the house with the key. It's funny. That's what you get for getting a smart dog. So
yeah, I've heard of people's cats doing that too. All right.
Oh, you'd be fine, Rachel. You could wear the little mask or whatever. But I think I've got a mosquito net that I tore up. One of those little 99-cent Walmart jobbers or something. Yeah,
I was gonna say, speaking of masks, one time I went in to go get my hair cut, and that's part of the reason why I haven't got my hair cut in a while. the barber shop was telling me you need to wear a mask, and I was like, well, I have a medical condition. I'm sorry, you still have to put a mask on. I was like, fine, I'm not getting my haircut here.
They I figured out that the places lit, even the ones that say due to government mandates, blah blah blah. The place can require you to wear a mask, but the mandate from the state government does not require it. Here in our county, the mandate does not require you to wear a mask. They strongly suggest that you wear a mask in public. And if I walk up to a place and it says we strongly suggest or we would appreciate it if you would.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. They don't ask here; they demand it. And on top of that, governor, like my stupid governor, he's the one who ordered that everyone wear a mask.
Oh, there's Aid. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Let me see if I can. Give me the thumbs up when you're ready to come up, Aid. I won't put you on the spot. Let me know when you're ready, bud. Oh, he's got 2 thumbs up. He's really ready. Okay.
Ah.
Ta-da!
Hi, Wesdos. Yeah, I didn't realise. I was actually making a cup of tea when you when I came back in and saw Dorse up there. So I looked at my email.
Oh, okay. Watch this. I can make myself more important than you. Ta-da! Look at
Of
that.
course.
That's actually fine with me.
Yeah, that was cool.
But
My face is even smaller.
No, honestly, unless I have something I want to show people, that's fine.
What if I do? Can I do this? Hold on. Remove solo layout, mute. I don't want to do all that. That sounds rude. I was just gonna try to see how I'm trying to figure out how to make a big picture. I don't know how to do that. Solo layout. What if I click this thing?
Oh boy.
Oh, look at there. He's all special like.
Yeah, and watch this.
Ah! it's a chicken deer. Yeah, I'll fix it. Okay, we're done having fun. Sorry.
If you want to continue with your previous topic where you were talking about the water.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, that's what the whole thing's because really, we need to start in the odd chance that somebody comes into one of our streams that actually doesn't have a clue. We should probably stay on topic.
Yeah. I was gonna say my experience, at least with the line of work that I'm doing right now, I don't know how much longer I'll be doing this, but I move people's furniture for a living, and during the hot summer months, I can easily go through well over a gallon to a gallon and a half of water, just based on my physical activities, and that's just water that I'm drinking. It doesn't include, like I said, it's water that I'm drinking right there on the job. It doesn't include any water I might drink beforehand or after I get home, or any of the water content in my food. So, if we were to count all that, it's probably closer to 2 gallons or more.
See, that's a lot of people don't get. What about the water that it takes to cook your food? People don't get that. Everybody's like, I've got all this freeze-dried food. Yeah, there goes. 1 cup of soup, 2 cups of water.
Yeah.
So, and that 2 cups of water is going to feed you. So if you want to feed anybody else, you're going to use 4 cups of water, and there's a liter. Where's it at? I think this is a liter. And I don't know. I wish they would put 6 cups of water. So you got a liter to make 1 meal of food. So it takes 6 cups of water to make 1 package of mac and cheese.
Yeah.
You're actually supposed to pour that water off. Here is life hack for preppers number 1. You never pour off the water on your when you open your green beans and your corn and stuff, and everybody scoops out the corn and leaves all the juice and stuff from the green beans and the corn. You know what? You're going to drink that, or you're going to save that corn broth and put the green bean broth in it. And
Corn broth, I like that.
you are going to, dude, that song, Why Is There No Corn in My Soup? Is because people wanted the corn in the soup because it's important. But if you save that juice, then that evening you use that to make your rice. And not only do you have rice that has carbohydrates and stuff in it, there's some vitamins and minerals and stuff in it. You used the broth, juice, whatever from it may not be that good. It may be your favorite food ever. You may decide, I'm never going to eat it any other way. But you don't throw calories away. That broth out of that corn, of those green beans, that spinach, the whatever, it has food value. It's not just water. But the other end of it is it's water. You just, by using it, you extend your water. You stretch your water. Why would, it's just, ugh. But that's me. That's kind of stuff that I want to put out in videos, but I talk like this when I do it. I'm like, how stupid are you in a shit van situation where you're going to pour water out on the ground because you don't want to drink corn juice? But then you're sitting there going, man, I sure wish I had some Tang. You just poured Tang out on the ground. I don't want to tell you.
I was going to say, I don't pour out my juice from my fruit, my canned fruit. I've always drank that.
Well, I do too, but I bought my canned fruit with light syrup. Or
they don't put pineapple, at least as far as I know, they don't put it in light syrup. It's usually just canned either in water or the actual juice of the fruit.
Yeah, but if you think about it, even if they put distilled water in there, which would probably dissolve. But anyway, even if it's just water, the pineapple's been soaking in the water for a while. You're basically drinking. You're drinking sugar, which there's nothing wrong with that. I am not going to confess to eating whole cans of fruit cocktail and watching Netflix. I'm not going to do that. You can't force me.
Oh, there we go.
So I have to go stick my...
Yeah, canned fruit juice is very nice, thanks.
Abe, what kind of impression are you leaving for the children with that?
Yeah.
With that what? This is an over 18s channel. Thank you very much.
Well, actually, the new federal regulations across the states, you have to be 21 now to smoke.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, I don't live in America. Yeah.
That's I can see the not smoking when the kids are in the car with you.
Yeah.
I tried not to do that anyway.
That was a joke.
We can't smoke in pubs or public buildings anymore.
But people are losing their crap about people, them making us wear masks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They'll let them write a regulation about everything else. And every bit of it's out of fear. Taking smoking out of every public building in the world was done out of fear. They used fear to put health regulations out there on something. And granted, I mean, yeah, smoking's bad for you. I'm not that idiot. Okay,
You've got to be 21 to buy a lighter. It's 16 here.
They did all that, and now they're able to say, you don't wear a mask, you don't go to the hospital.
Yeah. Well, that's like I said, that's just the way it is when I'm going to restaurants or if I'm going to the grocery store, if I'm going to get gas at the local gas station, I have to wear a mask whenever I go inside their establishment. Like today, I went over to Carl's Jr. and they literally made me wait outside because I did not have a mask. They made me wait outside to get my order for my food. And listen how stupid this was. I waited probably about, 10 or so minutes standing outside. They gave me my food. I asked because I was dining in, can I go in? They said, yeah, sure. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what's the point? Sorry.
I can't call. I'm not calling out any of the places we go to because I don't want to get them in trouble. But everybody here is so, and I'm talking not just here. I'm talking Lubbock too. Everybody's just kind of like, they turn the cameras off inside the building, I guess, or something. But everybody's just like, whatever. It's just, the people that drive me nuts are the ones running around with their windows rolled up, wearing the mask in their.
Yeah, and there's nobody else in there with their, with them in that car. I'm
just like, okay, you really need to take a Quaalude. Chill pill.
What about those people that you see, out for a jog or out for a run and they're wearing their mask and they're by themselves?
Hey, Guns McPew-Pew's made 2 live streams in one night. What's going on, Guns? Tell me the truth, man. Are you stalking us? Anyway, y'all two talk about something entertaining. I gotta go get more coffee again because apparently I got coffee.
Tibor, that's ridiculous. You have to be 21 to buy a lighter.
Yeah, it's 16 here.
That's stupid. As far as I'm aware, you have to be 18.
You've got to be 16 to buy a Red Bull as well. Energy drinks. You can't be under 16 to buy them.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess.
Hi, Guns. How you doing?
Let's see.
Oh yeah, you can't turn the CCTV cameras off in pubs and restaurants in England.
Oh, hey, Rachel Knight, I like your comment about the you can make mac and cheese with less water and not pour it off. That's what I usually do at home if I'm making mac and cheese, not in a survival situation. Try not to pour it off. I also try not to put too much water in there too. Well, thanks, Mr. Guns McPew-Pew.
Well, I got my new security ID this morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how soon are you going to start work?
Oh yeah, I'll be applying for jobs first thing Monday morning.
Nice.
Oh, I thought I'd come in on the end. I thought you had one, but you're just finally going to get to go applying for them.
Oh no, it only lasts for 3 years at a time. Hang on.
All right.
And those numbers there, that's the expiry date. And only lasts for 3 years ago. So
now you can grow out your beard and mustache.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Yeah, I went for my end of last week, end of the week before. So I don't have to shave again now, not for a while.
Okay. Went to pizza joint Tulsa today with family, no mask on any of us. Staff never batted an eye. That's what I wish, man. I wish it was like that here. It's just like most places, I just don't know who's going to start bothering me about the mask. For a while there, I was actually nervous about wearing a mask and carrying a gun all at the same time. That's why I wouldn't wear a mask. I would refuse. But then I got to a point where, well, I haven't had the cops calling me yet, so why not?
I've actually started debating myself whether or not I'm going to let them put a stamp on me for the concealed carry. I don't think it's right that I should have to let them brand me to carry one. I mean, they should have to brand me so I can't. You know what I'm saying?
You mean an actual physical stamp on your body?
Yeah, they like if if you've done something where they've removed your Second Amendment right, they should like have some kind of tattoo on your forehead where somebody can scan you. Oh, that guy's got a gun and he's not supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you've got to prove yourself worthy of your constitutional rights.
Got to have the mark of the brotherhood, just like in The Postman.
No, that sounds like 1940s Germany to me.
I mean, I know this is probably going to piss a lot of people off, but seriously, I mean, everybody with a concealed carry permit, you just went and you got the mark of the beast. You went and said, okay, y'all the boss of me. Y'all can tell me what I can and can't do. And I know if you don't, you can't carry without risking going to jail or whatever. Right now, I don't carry it on my person, which is probably a total waste of time because I don't have it on me 24/7. But it drives me nuts. And I read the Oklahoma deal where they say it's constitutional carry up there. I read their statutes. No, there's some wording that makes it to where you can get away with walking around with one all the time, but they did not give you the constitutional right to carry wherever you go.
So is that like concealed or is that just open carry only? Because a lot of states got open carry.
You can open carry. You can't walk around with a gun stuffed in your pocket. I don't think. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, as long as you're on your way to use the gun, which you can always be on the way to use your gun. But if something happens and you're like, well, and they're like, well, where are you going? To the grocery store. Well, why did you have your gun on you while you're on the way to the grocery store? You have always got to say, I was on my way to the range, or I was on my way back home from the range, or I was thinking about going to the range, or as long as you
Where is Hideaway Pizza? Werewolf Survival.
Texas is an open carry state, unless you try to drive through or San Antonio or walk through San Antonio.
So you said unless?
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 of the suburbs down there. If they see you with a weapon, they show up full force and take your crap.
Yeah,
because you're not allowed to display your weapon in public.
Oh, within those city limits. Yeah, the Denver's same way. Denver's the same way. Entire Denver
Isn't that
County.
a military town?
What's that?
Isn't San Antonio a military town?
I don't know. Wes, is that a military town?
Who's that? San Antonio?
San
Yeah,
Antonio.
San Antonio. Is that military?
I don't know.
I know it's a tourist trap because it's got the Alamo.
It's a smelly, stinky place. Does that count?
I thought Austin was a smelly, stinky place.
Austin is a smelly, stinky place. Austin is smelly and stinky. San Antonio is smelly and stinky. Houston is smelly and stinky.
Dallas wasn't that great either.
Dallas is smelly and stinky. You know, Fort Worth doesn't stink, and it's red. Fort Worth. This is weird. Fort Worth doesn't smell. It doesn't have that smell, and it's Republican. Dallas is Democrat, and I know I said we weren't doing politics, but I mean, it's weird. And it can't be me because I could smell it before I was into politics. You know, I've been in this state in Louisiana and I've been all over New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana. I was in the oil field for crying out loud. I was everywhere. Yeah. And when you go into, certain towns, they just were ranked. Now, San Angelo doesn't have that smell, and they're a military town. Abilene doesn't have that smell, and they're a military town. Lubbock's getting it.
Lubbock's getting that stink.
Yeah, it's all students and their piles of washing.
It's
That's what that'll be.
the only thing that's saved Lubbock so far is constant wind, I think.
Hey, Werewolf, was that the Stillwater, Oklahoma? That's where you said that the pizza place was at? Has anybody ever heard of Peter Piper Pizzas?
No.
They used to have them out here in Colorado, but they're all gone. The last one I got to go to was out in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I wish we had old school Pinocchio's back. The new Pinocchio's pizza is nasty. But Biddy Boo, what did he say? Is it a constitutional carry or is it loosely worded? We're going to let you get away with it because we don't want to deal with it. It either says in the law that according to the Constitution of the nation and our state, it says you can carry your gun. That's constitutional carry. I mean, it says you have the right to carry a gun unless you are blah, blah, blah. And then it's on you. If you want to do it and then wind up going to jail for having the weapon, that's up to you.
Yeah, the way I see things are going, they're going to make gun ownership and open display and the concealed carry of firearms and just private ownership of firearms in general. They're going to make it go away, like smoking in public places.
Well, see, I mean, that was one of the draws for Oklahoma for me because they are actually way ahead of us on the, you don't have to have a concealed carry in Oklahoma. I mean, literally the way the laws were written, I can carry in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I can carry here in Colorado. I just can't open carry a rifle or shotgun with a round chambered. I can have a fully loaded magazine, but no round chambered. But I've already got stops by trying to test that whole theory if I can carry a shotgun. I already got stopped by El Paso County Sheriff's deputies. So I don't do that anymore.
And I don't know how many people watched my video on, what was it? Political responsibility in the U.S. citizen. Whether or not the felony conviction, seriously, it should depend on what that felony is. I mean, I still don't understand how a DUI or not paying your child support or whatever, I don't see how that makes a difference.
It should be violent crimes.
Violent crimes only.
Yeah.
Like if you have a habit of slapping your wife around, yeah, you don't need a gun.
Yeah, I was gonna say violent crimes and sexual predators. I think there should be some sort of like rehabilitation period, like what Aid was telling me the other night over there in Britain. I think after you've served your time over there in prison, I think I'd say like after 5 or 10 years, depending on what the crime was, that you should have your rights fully restored. Maybe when it comes to the whole background background check process, it might take a little bit longer for you because you had committed said crimes, but you are now quote unquote rehabilitated. But yeah. I think that's the way it should be.
Which it's just weird. There's 2 men that I know personally that are literally pillars of the community. I mean, I would trust them with my wife, my kids, I'd loan them money. Okay. And they cannot legally purchase a firearm because of something that happened 30 or 40 years ago. That's a load of shite.
Yeah, so happened 3 decades ago. It's like crazy that.
Now, according to the statutes I was researching the whole thing because, I wasn't always a choir boy, but I'd pass the deal. Basically, what it boils down to, and I've successfully purchased. It takes forever because of that jerkwad who's on the offenders list in Alabama, who is freaking 10 years older than me, but his birth date's like 10 years and 2 days different than mine. But his name is the same. It's annoying. But anyway, and it shouldn't be a federal thing, I mean, why do you want to move to and this tears me up, because let's say you are a career criminal and you move from one state to another state to start over, but you want to start over a new criminal career, then I can see the side for the federal. But then you've got the thing where you're somebody who doesn't, you did time, blah, blah, blah. You move from New York to California so you can start over. But then they start doing federal background checks on you for employment and stuff, and you can't escape your past.
And that is a load of crap, because I don't think the federal government should be able to extend, its reach past the state borders. In fact, the very fact that they were even able to pass the whole 1986 machine gun bills because some interstate transport, whatever the hell, something to do with the interstate, and they deemed that as federal. But of course, if you look back, federal government's actually kind of given the rights for the interstates to the actual states themselves. So the actual states actually own the federal interstates and they do the maintenance on them. But I just think it's a bunch of crap that they are able to extend their reach past Washington, D.C.
The federal government is supposed to make sure that the state government doesn't do something that's outside the Constitution. That's their job. And then the federal government is supposed to make sure that international trade, trade with other countries, is fair and equitable for all the states and for the nation. They are supposed to make sure that we don't lose our country to foreign countries. They're supposed to be ready, willing, and able to call up the state militias, the National Guards, and stuff like that. I don't believe we should have we should have a small standing army. Basically maintenance guys and training guys and stuff like that. But the rest of it, like the Texas National Guard, should be the ones that whenever we go to war, boom, Texas National Guard is called up, and they're the ones that go over there. The Oklahoma, the Louisiana, it should be, each state should have to maintain its own military. I mean, instead of it coming from the federal government taxing us and keeping a military going, it should be the states. And that way, if you think about it, it actually makes a whole lot more sense, because then it's not 4 or 5 big military contractors keeping all the money to themselves, supplying the federal government. Then all of a sudden they've got all 50 whatever states that they've got to make a deal with. And it's a lot harder to bury ripping somebody off when you're having to do it 50 times than when you're only having to do it once. So,
hey, Biddy Boo, just to clear up the airwaves here. So in state of Colorado, you can open carry a handgun with a round chambered. They don't allow you to open carry a rifle or shotgun with a round chambered, and they don't allow you to transport a rifle or shotgun with a round chambered. But you can have handguns with a round chambered all day long. You just can't carry them onto school property, government buildings, post office, military installations, etc. And then wherever they've got, wherever they have it posted, no firearms.
Yeah, I'm having to drive like 10 blocks out of the way to get to work because I can't drive through the school zone.
So as I understand it, the way, and I think it's a federal law, you cannot carry a firearm within 1,000 feet of a school, like a school zone. But if you live within 1,000 feet of the school zone, that's the only time that rule doesn't apply to you.
Right, but I don't live there. I just work there. So, and it's just
I kind of ignore it anyway, because like that would be a lot of time for me to sit down. I'd have to sit down, pre-plan all my routes with like MapQuest or Google Maps, and before I even left for work that day, so that way I know that I'm not accidentally driving through a school zone. I don't worry about it. And on top of that, here in El Paso County, they really don't care. In fact, as far as I'm aware, in El Paso County, you can actually drive. If you're a parent picking up your child from school, you're allowed to drive up onto the school property with your firearm in your vehicle. So as long as your firearm does not leave your vehicle, it's fine.
Yeah, and see that's a gray area here. But they got all these wordings in the thing or whatever that it could go either way. So you're just like, I'll just stay out of it. I don't have a kid there, so I'll just drive around. I mean, it's not that big a deal. It adds like 60 seconds to my drive. So I mean, I can get over that.
Well, yeah, it's not like I shortcut through like the school parking lot to get to wherever it is that I'm going, But that's just one of the. I guess that's just one of the nuances. One of the things they got written into the laws over here in El Paso County. Now, as far as rest of Colorado goes, I don't know. I guess it depends on which county you're in, what they're going to enforce or what they're going to choose not to enforce.
I'm gonna respond to this. Why is it not showing?
Yeah, I just seen it. Poor states would have less resources.
Okay. Poor states would have less resources and less ability to supply and train their military. No. If the country was ran the way it was supposed to be, we wouldn't have this poor state, rich state crap. California would not have all this money that they're taxing people to death for.
Yeah.
Because it would be spread out some, because they would, people would be like, whoa, we'll just go over to Louisiana and do this. They've got a port down there too. We'll just do it like that. Or we'll go over to Mississippi. They got that river thing. We could get stuff in and out there pretty easy too. If it was done the way it was supposed to do, there wouldn't be like New York wouldn't be like New York.
Well, I was going to say, like a lot of these laws that they impose on these states, the federal government threatens, like, if you do not enforce these laws that we're passing, they tell each individual state, if they don't enforce these laws, that they're just going to pull their federal funding. Well, you know what? I would just play their game. But all right, you know what? I'll call your bluff on this one. All right, we're just not going to enforce it. You want to pull our funding, and we're not paying any more taxes to you. How about that? I don't know why states can't do that. Wasn't there something like I can't remember, was it the 10th Amendment? Any powers, like, what was it? I can't remember the exact wording. It's basically any powers not for the federal government is left for the state.
Will not instant or whatever the legislation that controls yada yada inside the state or whatever. I can't remember the wording either. I know which one you're talking about.
See, I'd have to go upstairs, and I have to go get my citizens rule handbook, because it's got the entire Bill of Rights and U.S. Well, not the Constitution. Bill of Rights. Oh, there he goes. Quick, guys, party.
Dude, it's like I'm here.
Say again?
Turn the AC on. When you're this sexy, it gets hot easy.
Well, I have to tell you right now, last Tuesday we had our first snowfall for the year, and we're expected to get more snow again this Tuesday.
Werewolf, I've been in Oklahoma. I went through Oklahoma City, and all I need is a few hundred wet paper bags, and I could take most of them. Oklahoma ain't no different than any other state out there. Once you get into the big cities, all them people forgot everything they knew about being American. It's, I mean, I've got friends that I love dearly, but I mean, I suck with a firearm. I mean, I would not want to be the guy, you know, that, okay, Wes is going to be your partner. Y'all go on patrol. I would not want to be that guy. But
Stand behind you.
Are you saying you're not a good marksman, or?
oh no, I can shoot whatever you need shot. But I was raised in the middle of nowhere. As long as we didn't point the gun at somebody, it was safe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you know, all this, I don't know how to do all that safety check, and all that other crap. I'm going to take some classes because everybody else looks so cool when they handle a gun. I want to look cool too, but I've never had those. I didn't go through boot camp and stuff.
I'm not gonna lie.
Boot camp handle a gun, and I'm like, is that how you're supposed to do that shit? You know, so
I'm not gonna lie. And if Wayne was here, he could pretty much vouch everything I say. And Navy boot camp, they really did not teach me much that I didn't already know in terms of handling firearms. Like, I think I had more experience with firearms outside of boot camp, and I really didn't learn much. You know, the only thing I could say is I got familiar with the M9 Beretta because that was the service pistol that we were using. I'd never used the service, 9mm M9 Beretta service pistol before that, but that's probably about the only thing I learned. I didn't learn any tactical shooting or anything like that. No, they barked at orders at us. They told us to stand on the line. When the line coach told us to draw our weapons, we draw our weapons, and then they tell us how many rounds to shoot, and then we shoot off that many number of rounds, put the handgun back in our holster, and then wait for further instructions, and then do the same thing. And also, you're not working with full magazines either. You're working with partially full magazines. I think I want to say so those are like 15-round mags for the Beretta. I want to say they were like 6 and 9 round mags. You know, like the magazines were loaded with 6 and 9 rounds. So, you know, they tell you, okay, I want you to get on the line, draw your weapon, shoot 6 rounds, reholster, then shoot 3 rounds, and then reload and shoot 3 more rounds, and then reholster. That's what we did. That was it.
That was your training. No
Yep,
way.
that was the training. That was actually the training for the qualifications, even on the ship. You know, when you're getting qualified with the handgun, that was literally it. There was nothing special. Now, as far as I'm aware, I think the Army and the Marine Corps might be a little bit more in depth, but that is basically Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard right there in a nutshell, unless you're doing special forces or something.
When I was in cadets, it was more in depth.
the ones here are a lot more in depth. I've seen the classes. I mean, it's an 8-hour class on how to shoot your gun. And,
the last handgun course that I paid money for, it was literally it was a concealed carry training course that would get my certificate. I haven't got my permit yet, but I'm going to be doing that here eventually. It was like handgun training 101 for idiots. I'm not kidding you. Like, I did not get anything out of that. Like,
weren't you in the Navy though?
Yes, I was.
I mean, basically in the Navy, you need to know how to swim and cut.
Yes.
Right? Unless you're in a submarine, and then you need to know how to hold your breath a really long time.
No, that is a requirement. No matter what job you're going to be in, no matter what your rate is, you need to know how to swim.
That was a joke. My two older brothers were Navy, and
well, see, I thought you were being serious because there's some people that don't know that.
When they were in, you had to learn how to tread water. If you could tread water, you were in. 2 kids from the desert joined the Navy.
Well, I mean,
had to learn how to tread water.
I was from landlocked Nebraska when I joined.
And one of them wound up on an aircraft carrier, And he's like, they want us to jump off that thing. It's 7 stories to the water. We'll die.
I wouldn't.
Oh,
It's 90 feet. Like if I'm not mistaken, it's 90 feet from that deck where they launched the aircraft. 90 feet from there to the surface of the water. That's a long jump, and I've heard stories of people like doing like cliff diving, and they end up getting water getting forced up their behind because they didn't break the tension, the surface tension of the water, and it really messed them up really bad.
yeah. It's like when I was offshore, which is not the Navy or anything like that. They go through this deal and they show you videos on how to like jump off this perfectly good platform, and you're like, that's 120 foot, dude. That's bottom plus 120. The bottom is anywhere from 10 to 20 feet below that. So at low tide, we're looking at 140 foot drop to the water.
Gotta be worried about them rocks.
Both my legs and both my arms, and then my name's going to be Bob, and I'm in the water with 6 foot barracuda. I'm good to go. I like this idea. I believe I'll go back to dry land. Now, I stayed out there for a long time, and then I rode that hurricane out. I was just like, dude.
Which hurricane?
I don't know, the one that blew a lot.
Which one?
A long freaking time ago.
That one about 5 years ago.
No, it was 31 years ago.
You had a really bad one about 5, didn't you?
The only one I remember from
YouTube videos I watched.
It was, and we were on a low platform. It was a production platform. It was little bitty. There was 3 of us. And we're just like, well, what do we do if something bad happens? They were like, we either make it or we don't. Let's play cards. So we were playing cards, and the guy goes, like, what? It looks like the storm's going to last a little while. What do you want to do? And the other guy on my crew, we were there to fix some stuff that had broken. He pulled out a bottle of bourbon, which was not supposed to be out there. So the other guy he deliberately pulled duty on those and when he on his days off, he worked for 2 companies. On his days off from company A, he literally took the helicopter in, climbed off of that helicopter, drove to the next helicopter, got on that helicopter, and flew out to another platform. He never took days off on land. He was Vietnam vet. He wanted out there, and he wanted to be the production guy. He just wanted to stay out there and make sure everything was working. He didn't like us being there. But he was okay after the bourbon. So we're actually part of the food chain. When you die of a heat stroke and dehydration in the desert, you become part of the food chain. First the flies show up, then the rats show up,
the maggots
show up.
Don't forget about the maggots.
That's the baby flies. Then all little birds show up and eat the little baby flies, and then the carrion beetles show up, and it's we never leave the food chain. The only they pump you full of all them chemicals when they put you in the box, and nothing can eat you. But
I'm going to get cremated, I think.
Anyway, unless you're on Smolo's listed to do things, and then you don't really have to worry about any of that.
So let me get this straight. Do you live in a desert or semi-arid climate, Wes?
Semi-arid. It's supposed to be a semi-arid savanna, but they stripped all of the natural vegetation and it doesn't rain here anymore. We're supposed to get around 16 to 20 inches of rain a year, but we haven't got that in 30 years.
That wasn't a result of the Dust Bowl, was it?
No, it's they used to do after the Dust Bowl, they did what they call windbreak trees, and you could find them all over the place. It was just row upon row of Arizona cedars planted to keep the wind from blowing straight through. And then they actually did rotation crop. They would do winter wheat on the terrace tops, and then they would plant their cotton in the bottom. Then they would come in and they would harvest the winter wheat, and then the cotton would still be growing. And then by the time it was time to harvest the cotton, the next crop of winter wheat was up. So there was always something growing here. They quit doing that when I was a kid. And it's, there's been nothing growing on the 300 acres next to me all year long. Nothing. It's just dirt. And that's not good. But there's no market for wheat here because we get all our wheat from other countries. Used to. Now we're getting tariffs put on China tomatoes and wheat and cotton and stuff like that. So guess what? It's going to pay to start growing food here again. Yay. Grow our own freaking wheat. It's as if the guys had to put wheat on this property right here, that stuff would make next year, barring any early spring storms that knock it down or whatever. But this rain we got is the water that wheat needed to grow all winter long. And it's still not too late. They could put the wheat out and they could make wheat. They won't do it. Guarantee you they won't plant it. Because they just won't. We don't grow food anymore. We grow what government tells us to grow. They're growing sunflowers up there, but I love it because the government told them to grow sunflowers. They don't grow sorghum anymore. You used to see them rotating the sorghum and the cotton. They do on 160 acres, they put 60 of it in sorghum, and then the rest of it in cotton. And then that next year the sorghum will be somewhere else, and then cotton because it's good for the soil. Plus, you're actually making feed. But the price of sorghum went so far down they don't grow. This is a good place to grow sorghum. Well, not here specifically. Further, a little further, but up there it's not because there's no water. And then they've got irrigation limitations up there because people were actually over irrigating. So they dropped them, and they killed half of the springs in the panhandle of Texas irrigating. They literally they dried up all of the lakes around Lubbock and north of there or whatever because they killed all the springs, pulling the water, the groundwater out. So
you said a lot of the groundwater also got messed up from the oil drilling too, didn't you?
They're doing that now here. They're pulling groundwater and using it for the fracking. So we're gonna run out of groundwater down here now.
Hi, Seth.
I don't trust the acidizing because they don't neutralize the acid after they get it going because they need it to do that. So that acid just sits down there and cooks. There's nothing to keep it from cooking up. I mean, that structure is under pressure, so gravity doesn't affect it. So there's nothing to stop that acid from working its way up, and then next thing you know, you've got salt water and stuff going into your underground aquifers. They do all this stuff to prevent it from happening and everything like that, but I'm just saying it makes me a little nervous. The acidizing makes me a little nervous.
I don't think they should be doing this fracking.
Without fracking, we would not be energy independent. I'd rather see the fracking than the windmills, honestly.
Yeah. I'm just thinking right now to myself, like, at what cost, though, if we keep doing this fracking? Honestly, I mean, yeah, windmills they're not efficient, and neither are solar panels. And I remember in previous live stream, I think it was last year, where you're talking about there being fields upon fields of those old wind turbine blades that are made out of balsa wood, fiberglass, and carbon fiber, stuff that's just not good for the environment. You just can't simply burn it or bury it or anything. But I don't know. Personally, I'm a fan of hydroelectric energy.
Yeah, but you can only dam up so many rivers before you destroy every river system and ecosystem there's out there on the river. Canada they got told, okay, y'all need to slow down on that. China, the reason everybody's like, India and China are having all this trouble. Yeah, India and China are having a lot of trouble because China keeps damming up all the rivers going into India.
Yeah.
For electricity so they have cheap electricity so they can outcompete us.
I guess for me, I guess so. It's a matter of okay, are we going to keep, at what cost? We gotta have some sort of sacrifice. Either we sacrifice our clean drinking water and completely permanently screw up our water table so it's got irreversible damage, or we can build a whole bunch of inefficient wind turbines and inefficient solar panels that only last for so many years that have to be replaced on a constant basis, so we could dam up a whole bunch of rivers. Or we could have everybody disconnect from the grid and everybody produce their own power with their own little mini wind turbines and solar panels.
The original intent for wind turbine technology was for individuals. That makes sense. You have to, but when it's a commercialized thing, by the time you pay for getting the windmill installed and the amount of electricity it makes and this, that, and everything else, by the time it's out of warranty and start needing repairs, you've barely got it paid for.
Yeah.
You have to be the guy. I mean, it all depends on whether or not you are capable of doing stuff for yourself. A world where everybody is service oriented. Okay, we want. And I apologize to everybody, but seriously, we as a society, worldwide society, for the most part, first world society, want to be able to go, hey Siri, I want hot chocolate, and get hot chocolate brought to the house. Okay,
I think the new thing is now Alexa, I want hot chocolate.
Whatever, but it's, and we don't even know how to turn the stovetop on. A lot of us, it just takes hot water and you tear the package off and you pour it in there and you stir it up. It even comes with marshmallows if you buy the right kind.
There's some of us that don't even know how to boil water here in the U.S.
And we want to know
on the stream though. Sorry,
you don't have kettles.
Yeah. Seriously, they're like,
Why don't you have? How do you live without kettles? That's how you boil water.
I mean, there's people out there that don't even buy microwave popcorn. They buy popcorn already popped, for crying out loud.
Hey, I buy it all. I even buy the Jiffy Pop.
I found this and I'm so happy. It's like the real movie theater butter salt. This is so not good for me.
Here, show us. I
What's
want to see it. I didn't get it. Oh, yeah.
This is the stuff like you go to the theater and you put too much on your popcorn.
Yeah. They got a white cheddar cheese flavor one. I love that one. And then they got one that's ranch flavor. That one's also good too.
Your kids all think you're just having a good time. Just, man, it's a good movie when you're wiping your hands off on your shirt. But
but seriously, with the dependence, like what you're talking about, back to the whole generating power thing. I remember, like, this is back in high school, so this has been about 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago when I last remember reading a news article. But those wind turbines, I think 10 years ago or so, I think they were like, what, $2.5 million a piece. And then I remember watching an episode of Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. Who here remembers that show? Anybody remember that show?
Dirty Jobs with
Mike Rowe? Mike Rowe. I remember one of the episodes, he actually had to climb up on top of one of those turbines, and they told him that they have to do maintenance, like they have to do regular maintenance on those things at a minimum of at least once every 2 weeks, grease the bearings and everything, check on the electric braking system, make sure the electric brakes don't fail. I don't know if you ever seen one of those turbines, see videos of those things when those blades just go out of control. They just go, they will literally flex so far backwards, they'll actually strike the support tower, the column that they're sitting on top of. They'll strike that, and that whole thing just blows to pieces, man. It's an awesome sight.
The other day when we were coming home from somewhere, and they were bowed back, and we're like, yeah, those are fixing to shut down. And sure enough, by the time we got to the house, they'd all turned and blade straight into the wind because they were flexing so far back. They were half the distance to the tower already was gone. I'm like, yeah, those are turning off. And
yeah. And of course, nobody talks about how many birds those things kill every year. They're building those all over the place out here, like eastern Colorado, like right, like 10, well, maybe a little bit further than that. I'd say probably about 15 miles east of me. Like, I remember 10, 12 years ago, there wasn't any turbines out there. It wasn't until after I came back from the Navy that I noticed they built all those turbines. Eastern Colorado gets a lot of wind.
I've seen one buzzard get took out by them. So, and that I hear people say that, they never see anybody, and they've got people that check and stuff and yada. You've got a person that's paid by the government to count dead birds, and if they count too many dead birds, they lose their job. So, yeah.
I left school 30 years ago, Rachel. That's how old I am.
I'm not that old.
How old's your niece there, Tibor? He said his niece doesn't know how to make grilled cheese.
Rachel, you do not physically
That's
look
just
old.
so wrong.
Well, it's only, if they're like 5 or 6 years old, I can, and they're not even allowed to use the stove because, I wasn't allowed to use the stove till I was like 8.
Wow.
23.
Yeah, you'd have a hard time getting married to a guy like me. No grilled cheese, no married. The birds had it coming. We saw they were dressed.
23?
What?
Oh my God.
My kids were all cooking by the time they were 11, huh? Whether we were letting them or not.
See, I kind of knew how to cook before that. So, like, my mom would allow me to use the microwave. She just didn't allow me to use the stove because she was worried I was going to either hurt myself or burn the house down, which is fair, I guess. But, I was definitely cooking grilled cheese sandwiches and soups and stuff like that.
Yeah, my mum and grandma taught me how to cook.
Rob. Pretty sure way more birds get killed by cars on the highways than wind turbines. How many cars are going up and down the road that are actually really, 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 really need to be going up and down the road? That's a want to thing.
Well, Here's the other thing. I mean, a lot of the birds, especially a lot of the predatory birds, they fly up pretty high anyway. I think, like I'm not gonna lie, I've hit a couple birds in my lifetime. I've actually hit one with the company semi truck before. That was something else. Watch that thing just hit the windshield. But I think a lot of the birds that we end up hitting,
That's shameful, T-Ball.
like I should say, a lot of the birds that end up getting hit by the turbines, I think those are a lot of the predatory birds, like the hawks, the falcons, the eagles, and maybe I don't know, vultures. I'm not sure. But
I mean, there's not going to be anybody come out against the wind turbines here. They're just not going to do it because there's too much government subsidies going towards them that trickles down to the local economy.
I was going to say that same news article that I read, because that was for Nebraska, so they were leasing out sections of property for these, from these farmers to build these turbines. They would pay them $3,600 a year. I think it was for like 10 years or something like that. $3,600 a year per turbine to have them on their property. So I guess I could see that.
Yeah, if I was a farmer, I probably would do the same thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's was like 3 or 4 of the guys we were talking to said they're not in the cattle business anymore. They're in the wind business. They sold off most of their herd. They're keeping, they got 300 or 400 acres. They're running 20 or 30 head on it just so they have something to do. And some of them have started leasing out, putting out, they'll do the weekend hunts or whatever, because I mean, they can charge somebody $1,500 to go out there for 3 days, and the people will pay for it. So,
wow.
They've got 1,000 acres. They can put 6 guys out there. That's 6 times 15. Y'all do the math on it, and that's cash money going in the pocket. Ain't nobody got to know about it.
Tax free.
So,
$1,500. That's like that's anywhere between a paycheck and maybe a paycheck and a quarter for me.
I've paid it. I mean, it's hard to get a place to hunt in Texas because all the people from the big cities are willing to. There's places that charge $5,000 for a 3-day hunt, and they're booked up. And there's no guarantee.
Hunting in England is definitely a rich man's sport. You're paying like $3,500 for a weekend grouse shooting, and only rich people can afford that.
See, I just wonder how long when they get the turbines in close to Lubbock. I wonder if the geese will stay around. See, like, I don't know. We've dealt with wind turbines in this county for 40 years. They're not new to us. They're new to everybody else. They're not new to us.
So that's why you've got like acres upon acres of those old blades laying around. Sorry.
We did all those blades only last a year or so. The wind turbines that were 40 years old, they're not there anymore. They took them all the way down and put new wind turbines up when they rerun the field. Those things, the generators and everything are stacked up over there. Just freaking hundreds of acres of wind generators.
Like old ones ain't being used no more?
Yeah. I mean, they take them down and they send them off to be recycled sometimes. But, there has to be money for that.
Yeah. I know brand new, those blades brand new, they're not cheap. They're like $120,000 a piece.
Did you really, Rachel? I hope so. That would be so cool. Yeah, and I mean, they're really good for the guys that have been struggling for a long time. But it's just funny to me that the properties that get the wind turbines first are all the corporate farms. The big corporate farmers get the wind turbines first.
That's funny that you even brought up big corporate farms because that's basically where most of our food come anyway.
Yeah.
What was it, Wayne? In one of our previous streams, you talked about those turbines. They also disrupt the mating patterns of elk and deer.
Tibor, where are you at again? Because I want to get me some starlings. I want to get me about 15 or 20 of them. I think they have one somewhere. I don't know where we'll.
I think he says he lives in Ohio.
Nuclear power. Nuclear energy actually makes sense. If they would take the money from solar and wind turbines and invest it into making nuclear safer, then
I don't know.
You have to. The reason Chernobyl blew up is because they weren't taking care of it.
Well, it was also an air-cooled plant too, but
Yeah.
that's beside the point. I don't know. I'm not crazy about nuclear power. I don't know if there's really any safe way to do it. I mean, I should know. I was on a nuclear-powered submarine. They're not even 100% safe either.
Yeah. At least if you have somebody you don't like, you can launch used tubes or use rods at them.
See, what I'm worried about with these nuclear power plants, the ones that we even got right now. I mean, besides the fact that a lot of them are really old, they're like 40, 50, some of them are going on 60 years old.
Right.
What I don't like about them is the fact that if we ever have something like it's only a matter of time for a CME to happen, coronal mass ejection. But if and when something like that happens, it's going to basically take down our power grid. What do you think is going to happen with all those stupid power plants, those nuclear-powered power plants? We're going to have Chernobyls all over across the United States. The whole northern hemisphere of this Earth is going to be borderline uninhabitable.
Yeah, a lot of it is. We're screwed.
I've worked in hotels and things like that.
All right, hey, that one's for you.
Yeah, I worked in kitchens when I was younger. And when I lived on my own, I cooked meals. I didn't just throw a pizza in the oven. I actually cooked proper food.
That's my number next. I plan on learning to cook sometime. Right now, I just open SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, I get you, Rob. At my old place in Nebraska, on any given night, we would have anywhere between 6 to sometimes close to 30 deer in our yard, and we lived in town. We had like just shy of 1.5 acre lot. We were in a suburb.
I don't think I could eat a few thousand, Tibor. They made it legal to blow them away down here, and there aren't very many starlings left. They figured out they were what's killing off the woodpeckers, and woodpeckers are what eats the bugs that was killing the trees and stuff like that. So they were like, okay, let's get rid of the starlings, get the woodpeckers back. We've got the woodpeckers back. The trees are doing better, but now I can't shoot starlings. So, still want to know where all the freaking sparrows went. I wonder how many sparrows. There's actually write-ups in national papers about sparrows this spring. I mean, yeah, there's still some in the cities and stuff, but they're not out in the rural anymore. It's scary. It's actually scary to me.
Well, you like the NDA that we have to sign when we go into submarine service, where they threaten us to serve some time over in Fort Leavenworth if we disclose anything that we've seen. I don't know. I'll pass.
Anyway, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Rob Pennis is here, so it's obvious that eating fresh meat did not kill him.
Yeah, your face, Rob. Oh, yeah, that was great. It was just absolute comedy.
So what, he ate raw meat?
No,
He had in-date canned food, tinned food, and his face.
Oh, he
face
ate,
yeah.
oh, he ate food that was outside the Best Buy?
no,
Buy
inside the Best Buy. He's usually used to eating the stuff. You know, he goes through his pantry and whatever's like out of date, that's what he eats. So,
well, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Do you not watch Wedge's videos, Rob?
We handed him some Vienna sausages that were still in date, and he didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah, right, yeah. You're sat on the log eating some tin food, and yeah, your face told the whole story.
Blue because they did a complete restart. Safeties failed. Radar station. Russian woodpecker.
We have yellowhammers, redhead woodpeckers, and the little ones, the little woodpeckers. I don't know what they are. They're really pretty, but they need to quit. We stopped putting water out, and I've got to keep the water out now because they kept getting in my water catchment and drowning the little ones, the little woodpeckers.
Oh.
I'm like, stop doing that. Because they don't want to fly to the water across. I mean, there's just water half a mile over there. But they were like nose first and into the water buckets and dying. I'm like, why are you doing, or barrels and dying? Why are you doing that? Because I have to get you out now.
Did I tell you at the truck driving school that I went to when I got my CDL, they had they had like a holding tank underneath their gravity-fed off-road diesel tanks to catch any leaking diesel fuel. And of course, it would fill up with water from the rain and the snow melt. And there was a bunch of dead birds in there because they would be bathing themselves in diesel fuel.
Yeah. Do you have jackrabbits up there, Rob? I hadn't seen none.
We've got jackrabbits up here too. I don't see them that often.
All ours died in our 7-year drought we had. They did okay the first few years, but then the 2 years that it was really, really, really bad, we haven't seen jackrabbits in 3 years. Not a single rabbit, not a single jackrabbit.
That's weird because usually jackrabbits do okay in desert climates or semi-arid climates.
The only place we had, the last stronghold they had was on some stuff that was running underground drip, and the guy got knocked out in a storm, and it burned his cotton. And the wind come up and burned his cotton off, so he didn't run. He couldn't replant. He just tilled it in and didn't run the irrigation that year, so the rabbits didn't have the greens to eat. There was nothing green for them to eat, and they just haven't been back. The coyotes were moving real hard too, and the coyotes were the last thing to go, and they've started making a comeback. But the cottontails are making a comeback. That's what freaked me out, was that the cottontails outlasted the jackrabbits.
Yeah.
I was really amazed at that.
Like I said, it's usually the opposite because I remember watching old footage from the 1930s Dust Bowl, and there were just, I mean, thousands upon thousands of jackrabbits all over the place. There were people out there, they'd show them out there with clubs, and they'd just be clubbing the rabbits in the heads, and they'd be taking as many rabbits home as they possibly could to feed their families. You know, there'd be people out there posing in front of the camera, look at how many rabbits I killed, you know, like just holding them by their feet. They got like a dozen in each hand.
And Robert, my catchment is overflowing. I need another tank. And we got what this past week, what we get all total? Well, from the other week and then this past week, we got what, over 4.5 inches of rain? The field over there, it flooded. I could put my, well, I don't know, it's probably soaked in enough now, I can't, but the other day I could have put my canoe out there and paddled around. I still want to walk in the mud. I walked out there and my little overflow tube is drip, 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 drip. I'm like, so I'm looking for the plumbing fittings to run it into something else.
We used to have a lot of coyotes out here, Biddy Boo. I think mostly because of the rabbits. We had like a huge explosion of rabbit population. But then housing developers started building up a whole bunch of houses that started back in the late 90s, and they haven't stopped. So I haven't seen much in the coyotes, but I still see a lot of rabbits that roam through the suburbs out here. Real quick, Rob, how'd that work for you eating that 12-year-old can of Vienna sausages?
Rob ate a 12-year-old can of sausage?
Yeah. You got
Vienna
to scroll
sausages.
up. Yeah, you got to scroll up. It was up a little ways. There you go. Funny, I just ate a 12-year-old, or just ate, or sorry. Oh, wait, I just ate a 12-year-old can of, I thought you said 8. I don't know.
It's ate a 12-year-old can of Vienna sausages yesterday. I missed that. Well, I got that. I've still got some of that Spam I found in that stash or whatever. That's 12 or 20 years old or something. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell the difference, actually.
Spam kind of lasts. I thought Spam was one of those foods that lasts for a long time anyway.
It's salt and fat. It's as long as the can's good, the Spam's good.
Quick question, Wes. Do you still have wild Spam cans roaming around on your property?
No, I have cleaned all of those out. The trick to it when you're hunting the wild Spam like that is you've got to be able to knock their legs off, and that way you don't damage any of the meat, and hit them at just the right angle at just the right time, so it pops the lid out, slices it, and throws it in the skillet, so you don't lose anything, and it's minimum work.
You just got to build a fire underneath it, right?
Yeah, just build a fire right next to it with a skillet, and then when you shoot it just right. The trick is to get the Spam up on the log at just the right time, so instead of actually shooting it, you can knock it off with the bullet right at the bottom of it.
So in that case, would you recommend using number 4 buckshot for that, or would that?
No,
just,
I would go with a
start
small
out?
caliber, like a 22 or 17, something like that. I wouldn't go any bigger. Depending on your marksmanship abilities, I guess if you were talented enough, you might be able to do it with a 9mm or something like that. But I wouldn't go with buckshot because you stand getting lead in the Spam that way.
Well, if I use like what if I used waterfowl load? Zinc coated BBs that are supposed to be waterfowl safe.
That'd be fine. I mean, if you want to chew up pellets in your Spam, that's up to you, man. I'm not going to judge. I think the next time I go Spam hunting, I may use a shotgun because then I might actually hit the can. But, outside the mortal engines or whatever, the food of the ages never goes off, and they dump every can. Doesn't matter what shape the can is. When that robot zombie dude opens it and dumps it out for her to eat, it looks exactly the same. And she eats it, and she grows up fine. That's the funniest part of the movie for me.
Was that the one where they had those cities that were mobile or something like that?
Yes.
I vaguely remember that movie. I I remember something about a scene where they found a Sunbeam brand toaster, and they were
Yes.
putting that in a museum.
And see, people have fantasies about the end of the world being like that and stuff, and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
If a can of Spam is 1,000 years old, it might be okay, but that Twinkie is not going to be a Twinkie, okay?
I don't know. They said Twinkies can last a nuclear war.
Well, yeah, but they
No big deal. Taste difference in textures or oddities, nothing to it. I guess for me, it depends on what the Vienna sausage is, because some of it's not really all that good. I'm not really a huge fan of Libby's brand Vienna sausages. I like Armour. Armour's good. Libby's has got like a lot of
You can't
fat.
live in Hawaii without having Spam in the house, Rachel. Apparently, it's not a done thing.
Yeah, I was worried about not having enough 12 gauge shotgun shells, so I bought some more the other day, just because. And then I looked in the top of my closet and I remembered where I put them. So
I'm not worried.
You can't have too many shotgun shells, mate.
No, you can't. You
yeah,
absolutely
always
cannot.
bust on birdshot. I'd a whole lot rather have way too much birdshot than just a few buckshot.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the nice thing about me, like having all my reloading equipment for shotgun shells. That birdshot's real easy for me to convert over to like double-aught buck or turn it into slugs. It's just a matter of having the right, like when I'm adapting those wads that are meant for birdshot. It's just a matter of adapting those wads, putting the right amount of spacers in there, and then cutting the 8-point star crimp off and putting a roll crimp on there if I'm putting a slug in there.
I don't see me ever putting a slug in my gun.
I do.
I do know that I will never waste a shot shell in a rifled shotgun barrel. It is if out of a rifled barrel,
It's ineffective.
shot shells are ineffective past 15 paces. Literally, you aim at somebody at 20 paces, and the shot is going to go around them.
Yep. Well, I've also heard stories.
But you're not going to kill the guy. So, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I've heard stories of people messing up their rifling to their shotguns. The ones that have rifled barrels for their shotguns. I've heard stories of people messing up their rifling if they fire a shot. I don't know how true that is. That's not something I want to find out. That's mainly the reason why I have smooth bore open cylinder shotguns. I don't have to worry about, did I put the wrong load in there? I mean, with the exception of those Sabo rounds, I can't shoot Sabo rounds, but big deals are a little bit more pricey than Foster style slugs. Wes, where'd you go?
I went to get coffee. What do you think?
Okay. I wasn't sure if you heard any of that.
Yeah, it's not that the rifling is going to get messed up. It's that the spin in the rifling causes an outward momentum.
Yeah.
Shot. So the second it leaves into the gun,
the centrifugal force causes it to spread.
Right, sorry, Sasquatch. I missed the question. What was the question?
Seriously, Rob? I'm not gonna. I won't call you out on that. I had to. The first time Mr. Lance showed up, I was like, "Hey, I know that one."
Usually, only steel shot poses that problem. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that, Rob.
But the spin is any of it. You can shoot slugs down a non-rifled barrel; they just won't be as accurate. But
they have to be rifled slugs, or they have to have a key on the end of them.
If you're on, if you're going deer hunting, yeah. But I mean, I don't plan on shooting at something 100 yards away with a shotgun.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, maybe not necessarily 100 yards, but I've got slugs for really. I mean, yeah, I guess they'd be used for hunting. They'd be used for hunting wild game or two-legged predatory creatures. I'm mostly worried about people rolling by with bad intentions in a vehicle, and I can disable their vehicle. You know what I mean? Single shot to the engine block with a slug. That should disable it.
Or you could just put some number 4 or number 2 through the driver's window.
Yeah, but the car will still be rolling.
Yeah, that way you ain't got to clean up the mess, man. Got to think this stuff through.
Hi, Keith. Sasquatch, what was the question, mate? What am I saying no to? Or what you're taking as a no?
Let me scroll back up, see if I can find the question.
Yeah, apparently he's taking something as a no. So I missed the question, dude.
Well, he was asking is that when he was asking if you could cook?
Well, yeah. Well, that's the last time he asked me a question, and I answered it. So I'm not sure if there was another question afterwards.
I don't know, Eric Gregory, on the rabbit and the jackrabbit things. Everything runs in 7-year cycles. The number 7 is probably the most important. 3 and 7 are probably the most important numbers on the world. 10, this whole metric system, that is so far outside of the natural realm of anything. It's not even funny. Everything runs in 3s, 5s, 7s. Everything's prime. Okay?
And 6s. Like the honeycomb of a beehive, it's in 6s.
But because, well, I'm talking weather-wise, you've got 7-year weather patterns. The end. You have 7 years where the weather's going to be, in those 7 years, you're going to have 2 years of this, 2 years of this, 3 years of this. It's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been. And then it starts back. We're just now coming into the wet part down here of the 7. And we'll have maybe one this year and next year, and then it'll start drying out again. We've had a couple of times where the 7 year was 7. We didn't never get the wet part of it. But it's just something I've noticed living here or living on the planet. Everything, weather cycles run in 7s.
Hey, Wes, the Sasquatch is asking you a question. Would you use 50 AE for the wild spam can?
No, I would not. Dude, I didn't even know there was a fair. Are they having a gun show? Might go see if I can give me some ammo or something. We'd have to get up early and go in the morning, though.
Apparently, it's pretty good.
Sorry, I cut out. What was that, Aid?
There's a market called Junk Fest, and it's held in Lubbock at the end of every month. Apparently, it looks pretty good.
Is it like a swap meet?
No, it's all homemade craft things.
Oh.
If anybody asked me what calibers I would recommend for a prepper, it's going to be simple. You pick one big game caliber, something that you can handle. Stay away from the 243. A 270. Well, anywhere from a 30-30 to a 300 Winchester mag or Winchester Remington mag.
Yeah, no, it's 300 Win Mag. I think that's what you're talking about.
And you can replace that with a 7mm. Anywhere in there. It depends on, like, if you got moose, you need the 7mm. If the deer are going to be further away or antelope are further away, you need the 700 or the 7mm or the 300. If everything you're shooting at is within 200 yards, 270, 30-06, 30-30 is fine. honestly, the 7.62 by 39 is a good caliber. It falls like a 30-30. The only downside to it is it's the spear point, and if you're in brush, that's a problem. If I could only have one deer gun, it would probably be a 30-30, because then you don't have to worry about the brush as much. It'll kill anything in North America.
What's your thoughts on 308? Because one of the things that I'm fans of with 308, and most guns being chambered in 308, so as long as you got the correct amount of head spacing, you can fire 7.62 by 5.1 NATO out of it. What's your thoughts on 308?
Never shot one. I don't. My thoughts on shooting anything that's not that gun's not chambered for in it. Don't do it. That'd be like me taking my little 4-ton or 410 bolt action and sticking a 45 long coat in it and squeezing the trigger. Wouldn't recommend it. It'll fit. It'll go bang bang.
Well, see, 308 operates at a higher pressure than 7.62 by 5.1. The only thing with 308 is it does have a thinner shell casing, whereas 7.62 by 5.1 doesn't. But you have to be worried about making sure you got the proper amount of headspace. That's what I was talking about with A the other night when we were talking about different guns that shoot 7.62 by 5.1. You know, you can't just simply jam a 308 in there and expect it to be good, because 308 is a higher operating pressure and it's got a thinner casing. If you don't have the right headspace, it's not going to end well.
When the military is looking at a round for their weapon, they look at the best of all the world. You know, they throw every compromise they possibly can into that round. Like, don't get me wrong, 5.56 is an effective round, okay? But it's not the end all be all anything. I would not want to have to depend. I would not want to my food in to depend on a 5.56. You know, you only have to be off an inch, and you may not find that animal.
5.56 is illegal to do any sort of like big game hunting, even deer hunting, in most states anyway.
Here, you can hunt with a 222 here. You can act legal definition here in the state of Texas. You can hunt with a 25 auto. Any center fire ammunition.
Really? Yeah, I know in Colorado you're not allowed to be shooting deer with a 5.56 or 223 Remington.
But the 243, you get this gun that kicks like a mule, and you're trying. I mean, you've got so much pressure, so much recoil that, I mean, you got all this vibration, and they're not that accurate. I'm sorry, they're flat line, but where's that flat line going to wind up? You're better off with, a long. I'd rather shoot a Nagant than I would a 243, and the Nagants kick. A freaking tank flying through there.
Should invest in one of those limb saver recoil reducing pads.
I have one.
And it still kicks?
Still kicks. Still hurts. Dude, I mean, you got these little 160-pound guys running around in World War I, World War II, shooting at each other with these shoulder-busting pieces of junk. I'm like, dang. These guys were shoving bullets in these things, cocking them and pulling the trigger just as fast as they could sometimes. And still had to be able to pick up a spoon at the end of the night to eat their spam.
I'll be right back.
A lot of guys eating with their left hand, I guarantee you, like, my arm is so.
I'll be right back.
Hey. Don't forget to kill your mic if you're going to do disgusting stuff. Which he muted himself. Sim's talented. I've never done the old diamond penny loads and stuff. When you put flat stuff in a shotgun and when it comes out the other end, as soon as it makes a flip or a turn, you have no idea where they're going. Yeah, up close and personal, I can see them being okay. But, you know, I don't want to walk into a room with a sawed-off 12 gauge and clear the room with both barrels and one pull. That's not me.
It's like if you're using dimes, it's it's a dollar a round.
At least. And you just seriously, I mean, I have a lot of respect for number 2 shot. I mean, it's pretty wicked stuff. Well, number 4 all the way, number 4, number 6, it's, you know, I don't want to. Please don't. You know, the double aught, you're like, you got what, nine slugs going down there. Yeah, you might hit them with 1 or 2 of them, but number 2, you're going to hit them with several of them. If they got a vest on or whatever, it's not going to matter because you're going to hit them in the legs and the arms and the face and the everything. Just I mean, yeah, double aught's some serious stuff, but I mean, why not just put what do they call those? I've been watching videos on them, wall guns. Why not just make you a wall gun and make you like a 4 gauge wall gun and mount it in your living room floor and just clear the whole street with ball bearings.
I got those punt guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. A pound of grape shot.
And they never talk about that, all that grape shot they shot at each other they show them shooting the cannons that back and forth at each other in the Civil War. When the guys started charging, they quit putting cannonballs in those things. And they started dumping lead balls in them. And they would roll them down, and those guys were halfway across the field, they'd touch it off. And then you've got you got 3 pounds of lead shot going everywhere.
Yeah, Napoleon did the same thing during the Napoleonic Wars.
Was it World's Deadliest Weapons or whatever? They showed either that one or Mythbusters. So anyway, somebody showed what grape shot would do to hog carcass. Dude, it was like ground pork. I mean, there was, not interested, dude. No, I don't want to play.
It's like firing Claymore, isn't it? Yeah, that's what Napoleon did. He put the ball bearings into a canister, then you slowed the canister up, and the canister would split apart. Put cavalry down.
It's all these people that talk about they're going to do this and that and everything else, and they're going to fight off the Golden Horde and stuff. I mean, they don't realize that they don't have the guys with the 5-ton trucks, and they don't have a crew of 200 or 300 guys behind them redistributing more ammunition and stuff. They don't have that. It's what you got on you when it happens. That's what you got on you when it's finished.
What did I miss?
Not much.
You said something about 5-ton trucks and not having a crew, and I missed the rest of it.
I was just saying that the guys out there that want 20,000 rounds of ammunition for every gun they got or whatever, like they're gonna fight off the Golden Horde. If there's not somebody back there loading magazines and running them to the front, what good have you done? Other than you're worried about them shutting down and not letting you have any more ammo. But if you buy that stuff with a credit card, they know exactly where it is anyway.
I guess that's one of my main reasons why I have a lot of ammo is I'm worried about not them pulling it completely off the shelves, or with as of recent, the whole ammunition scares. Everybody's buying a whole bunch because of the whole COVID-19 thing still going.
Yeah, that's what I'm at right now. I just can't get any flipping ammo because everybody's like, "Oh, there's not going to be any more ammo. We got to buy all of this right now."
I hate not having ammo. I really do, because then I can't go. I'm lucky. I'm lucky if I get to do target shooting once a month. I'm not making this up. I'm lucky if I get to go shoot target shooting once a month, because most of the time ammo is just not available.
That's the thing. If we want to target shoot, we buy the ammo, we come back, we put it up, and we take it off the back of the stack. If you can't put the stuff on the front of the stack, you can't take it off the back of the stack. So we're not getting to shoot. It's annoying as crap. It's because people literally are trying to put up 20, 30,000 rounds of ammunition, and you're just like, dude. Some of them I can understand. I mean, I can understand it, but it's still, I'm an American. I can complain about it if I want to. It's annoying that I can't continue to do what I enjoy because of the reaction of fear on the part of several other people out there. And they have the right to do it. I'm not saying they don't have the right to do it. I'm just saying, dude, be cool.
Part of the other reason why. Oh, sorry.
Guys would sell the ammo when they found out one of their buddies was left out of the loop or whatever. They would sell you some ammo. They didn't say, "Well, we're gonna pay you $5 a box for this, but I'll let you have it for 15." It wasn't none of that. We had some of that crap. Those guys got carried out behind the barn.
I did that with one of my coworkers. I bought this for $5 a box and I'm gonna sell it to you for 15. No, when one of the stores I found out was selling 5.56, I bought the the maximum amount of ammo I was allowed to buy, which was 2 boxes. Bought me a box, bought him a box, gave him the box, told him, "Here, this is how much I paid, and that includes tax." And it came out to I don't remember, $82 and 42 cents or something like that, or $81.42. So 150 round box.
Ammo to piss off, if I want to just go out and throw stuff down range and just not worry about it, is the gaunt, and I don't want to.
Well,
it hurts.
So my premise to having as much ammo as possible for a lot of my guns, I'm of the mindset that, who knows, I might have to end up loaning a few of my firearms to people. I want to be able to train them, and I want them to have adequate amount of ammunition to defend themselves.
It would take a very special person for me to be like, here's you a gun. It just really would.
You have to issue me with one. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but you're a special case. But
you're the special person he's talking about.
That's about it then. Can't just throw rocks at people, can I?
Somebody that I've never seen their face, and this doesn't mean anything about you guys or whatever. Clifford's a good guy. We're going to pick on him. I've never seen Clifford. I don't know if he has guns. I don't know how he believes. I don't know his political views. I'm just saying that this is my situation. I am, dadgummit?
Hey, can you highlight this one? This Ted Siemens great video. How much weight do soldiers have to carry? kind of goes a little bit along the lines.
Anyway, yeah, that came up before, but I'm Wes Grimes, and I've got this group of people that were trying to survive the apocalypse, and Clifford shows up. I don't know him from Adam. To what if he turns out to be like the what's the fat guy with the? Oh yeah, the governor. That's a better one. What if he turns out to be like the governor? And he didn't have nothing but a stick when he showed up, but then I give him a fully automatic weapon, and next thing you know, he brings a tank and kills everybody. It would take a very, I would have to get to know you pretty good before I said, "Hey, here you go."
Don't soldiers care about £50?
I guess I'm using that example more or less for my brother because he doesn't own a gun.
Well, yeah, I mean, if let's we'll say Craig, if he was caught out on the road and he had to show up here, he got his family here, then I'd be like, okay, dude, and I would chunk him a rifle. I just would. I'd probably throw him a sidearm. But that's because I've known him my whole life. I don't have to worry about him shooting me in the back of the head to take my beans and rice.
Hey, Wes, if you don't mind, we should probably have Aid take over the stream for a little bit, in terms of there's an interesting subject that him and I, we were talking about on Google Hangouts a few nights ago.
We spoke about absolute tons of stuff, like 6 hours.
Yeah, I know.
What in particular?
No, you remember the whole gun control thing? Remember how you said everything in terms of price and taxes, everything went up after they pretty much banned the private ownership of firearms over there without special licenses and privileges.
Oh yeah, you put a video on, didn't you? Yeah, to come to the conclusion that to get a firearm certificate, which means you can own handguns and rifled caliber weapons, you've pretty much got to be rich. The video that we were watching on YouTube was the guy's an IT specialist and he's got plenty of money and a nice super clean record. Now me personally, in my younger days, I was a bit of a bad lad, so because of something we've got called the Rehabilitation Act, I'm capable of getting a shotgun license, but a firearm certificate, I'll never ever have one of those. There you go.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, you remember how you said the taxes, they went up?
Oh yeah, the prices went through the roof. Right, I was showing Dorsa some of the websites where you can buy shotguns from in England. A second-hand, some second-hand 3-round shotguns are the same price as, say, a brand new Panther Arms Oracle. Panther Arms Oracle works out about £900 to buy English money. There are some shotguns that are that price. A brand spanking new decent shotgun will cost you well over £1,000, and you can get 20 gauge shotguns in America for like $99. That is unheard of where I am. So when people are saying some guns are really expensive, from my point of view, no, they're not.
I was going to say, you're talking about the congestion tax. That's what I was trying to get at, the taxes that they started imposing because they lost that revenue from the sales tax of firearms and ammunition. You remember you were telling me that? They said that they charge a congestion tax whenever you drive into places like London.
Yeah, right. If you drive, yeah, right. If you drive a commercial vehicle of any description, you have to pay an extra levy to actually drive that vehicle into this. This was like ages ago. This wasn't the other night. This was like a couple of months back. This is mainly because lots and lots of people have stopped smoking. Right. In England, the profit in tax on cigarette smoking was about £14 billion a year in revenue for the government. Because so many people have stopped smoking, I think it was last year, 400,000 people quit smoking. Right, this is one of the reasons why our fuel is so expensive. It's approximately £5 a gallon. What's £5 in American money? About $7?
Yeah, about 6 and change.
Yeah, $6 and change. So you guys don't pay $6 a gallon for petrol.
No, people will be up in arms if that happened here.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen signs in West Constance. It's like just over $2 a gallon. Or sorry, just under $2 a gallon, which is like £1.60, and we're paying £5 for a gallon of fuel. We have to pay road tax, MOT. Commercial vehicles have to usually public transport. Commercial vehicles have to pay 2 MOTs a year. They have to pay the national government MOT, and then they have to go and do the local council MOT, which basically means you take your car in to the garage, get it MOT'd, then you drive it to the council garage. The guy opens the boot, opens the bonnet, the hood, looks at the engine, and goes, "There you go, done." And that's a 5-minute job, and it's £300 to get a taxi, taxi cab, fit for the road.
And just so you guys are aware, the last time I checked, the exchange rate for £1 British pound to $1 US dollar, it's approximately $1.28 to £1 British pound sterling. It's really very expensive, man.
Yeah. So every time, this is, I remember this conversation. It was a while ago, right? So if the government banned all guns, limited guns, and say you're only allowed to have bolt-action rifles and shotguns, that's thousands of people out of a job. And not only that, all that tax revenue from every single bullet you buy has to come from somewhere. So if the government stop you from buying firearms and firearm-related items, that tax revenue will go on your fuel, your road taxes, etc., etc. So they've got to get it from somewhere. So if there's no bullets, your fuel prices will go up. There'll be more tax on tobacco, more tax on fuel. They'll start making up the. So I don't know. That's what I was saying to Dorse. The company he works for, if they had 100 lorries, and all of a sudden you've got to start paying $25 a week per vehicle just to go into Denver, that means they're going to put their prices up, which means you have to pay more.
Yep.
Is that the conversation, Dorse? I think it
Yep.
was. Yeah.
That was the conversation right there.
Didn't that result in some yellow vest trouble in France?
Fuel tax, as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure if there's anything else included.
That's what we're talking about. I mean, they lost revenue from one place, so they started trying to make it up somewhere else, and then the next thing you know, you got a bunch of guys with yellow vests running around and go, nope.
Yeah, lots of lorry drivers and people who go over to the continent on a regular basis. They'll fill their tank right up to the brim, and they'll get jerry cans, fill those up, and then use that petrol to drive around in England with. Because the fuel prices in France is a lot cheaper than ours, more expensive than yours, but cheaper than ours. So it's more cost effective for them. And now you've got the Eurotunnel. The Eurotunnel, it's only a 26-mile drive to France. So if you lived in the south of England, southeast of England, it's actually cost effective for you to get in your car, drive through the tunnel into France, get loads of fuel, and bring it back.
You know, sooner or later they're going to start taxing people to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is because I never thought of it until you brought that up that one night. You know, everything would go up, even car registration, property taxes. If you're renting, you know, your landlord's going to pass that expense off to you.
Oh yeah, if your landlord's got to pay $5 for a gallon of petrol, a gallon of gas, he's going to put your rent up.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the taxes, though, the property taxes.
Or anything
Yeah.
for that matter, yeah.
Do they have some kind of like utilities tax that they introduced or something like after the ban of firearms over there?
Well, we have things called rates, and our water rate is a set bill, but those bills differentiate from one part of the country to the other. It's what the local council decide they're going to be. Unless you're on a water meter, if you're on a water meter, then you pay by the unit.
Hey, you see what Rachel Knight just put down right there?
That's what I've got. I use a bicycle. I don't drive a car because to run a car, to run a normal 4-door family car, 4-seat family car, you're looking at maybe £2,000 to £3,000 a year just running costs.
And that's pound sterling.
Pound sterling, yeah. Road tax, insurance, MOT certificate, all sorts of stuff that you got to pay for all the time. And just me saying a gallon of fuel cost about $6 when you guys are paying $2 a gallon, you can see the difference right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have to move closer into town, or either that, or I'd have to get a job and $6 or $6 and change for fuel.
If you live 20 miles outside of the city and you work in the city, so that's 40 miles a day traveling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, plus parking. Yeah. Parking costs a fortune. Round here it's not so bad, but the major cities, yeah, it's quite expensive.
They don't charge you for parking in front of your own house, do they?
No, you can't. Your council tax covers that.
Okay.
But you need a bit of paper to put on your dashboard, or you get a ticket anyway.
I think they charge in Oregon. I think they charge for parking parking at your house.
Wow.
I know they do at New York City. That's why a lot of people in New York don't have cars. Well, of course, if you've ever got a chance to walk the streets of New York City like I have, you can see why.
Yeah. It's been a while. I was up there when everybody was wearing bell bottoms, but
that's a while.
That's been a while. But you know, New York City, bell bottoms and belly buttons, man, it was a good time. Yeah, it was back when the belly buttons looked good. Not the belly buttons you see now, the belly buttons they used to show. Well, that got everybody quiet.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out what else we could talk about. I thought that was kind of a interesting insight from and like, I wanted people to know that because I didn't know that kind of stuff would happen. You know, I mean, well, I should say I didn't know. I didn't think about it. That's what I should say. It wasn't until that we had that conversation that one night. And I was like, I never really thought about that. They would have to get their tax revenue somewhere else.
Well, everybody here is like, oh, we want this and this and this. And they're all like, yeah, let's do all this cool stuff at the county hospital. And wait a minute. That can't be my tax bill. You're the one that voted for the new junk at the hospital. Where do you think the money's coming from?
Like, what's that like? £1.40.
Say again?
$1.80 is about what, £1.30, £1.40.
So, like I said, the
What
exchange rate as
what
far as I
paying us
know-
said, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exchange rate is like $1. Like I said, it's like $1.28 to £1. So
It's like £1.40 a gallon where Rob lives.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Well, next time I'm out, the pricing signs in England are very similar to the ones that you have in the States. So I'll take a photograph and I'll put it on Instagram, and you can see for yourself how much fuel costs: diesel, unleaded, and normal.
because I don't buy the cheap stuff, I have to buy either 87 or the ethanol free gas. I'm usually spending between, I don't know, $2.87 to like a little over $3 a gallon. Otherwise, I don't get very good fuel mileage. It's the price of driving an older vehicle.
Yeah, T-Bone, it's you that's going to pay for that.
Yeah, I was driving in Fort Worth the other day, and I would come in the middle of the street, run up on a speed bump. I'm like, what the? This is like a street. You can't put a speed bump in the street, but apparently you can.
That's what they did in one of the industrial parks over here in the one city that I usually work in.
Yeah, a lot of the well-to-do residential areas in my town, they all have speed bumps.
Oh yeah, a lot of the residential areas over here will too, but like the industrial park of all places, they put 2 big speed bumps. Well, they're not speed bumps; they're speed humps. This area, I usually take like my new drivers that are just learning how to, that have learner's permits and they're learning how to drive semi trucks. I'll take them on this industrial park because they got a bunch of straightaways and a lot, long winding turns that aren't like ridiculous, so it's not unsafe and there's not a whole lot of traffic, so it's like perfect to take them out driving. I have a feeling they put those speed humps there because there's probably some street racers that like to illegally street race at night in that industrial park because there's not a whole lot of traffic out there.
With this, their reasoning over here is to reduce danger to children.
Well, I guess speed bumps is better than using children to slow down traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, I don't know. All depends on what the population in the area is. If you want lower population, you'd use the kids.
I think that's what China's doing right now.
Well, normally this time of year, there's about 1.5 million people where I am. Because of the C-19, it's about maybe 250,000.
That's rough. I mean, I always wanted to go to England, but man, the more you talk about it, the less I want to go. I mean, it's just a big clock. I can see pictures of it on the internet.
Oh yeah, you're talking about was that big
If anyone comes to England, yeah, don't go to London, right? Because that's where everyone goes. All the tourists in the world, they all go to London so they can see Buckingham Palace and the Tower Bridge and all that sort of thing, the Millennium Dome and all that.
I want to go see
there's a whole lot when you come out of London, when you come out the M25 Ring Road. It's a different place, mate. It really is.
I want to go to where those chalk cliffs are, and I want to fly a kite. Is that legal?
Yeah, flying kite's legal. Of course it is. Yeah, that's the Cliffs of Dover, which is in from where all you guys are sat. Yeah, that's a stone's throw from London. for size and area.
Yeah, I was going to say, what you described right there, it's pretty much what I'd have to describe to foreigners. A lot of the foreigners that come to the United States, they only want to visit New York City, LA, maybe Miami, but they don't actually get to experience true America by driving through what the like talking about the whole left right
Right, no,
paradigm.
that's exactly what I was. I'll repeat what I said to you, Dawes. A couple of nights ago when we were talking on Google. Everyone I know that's been to America, I have seen. Let's clear my throat. Right, I have seen the front gates of Disneyland 1,000 times with different people in front of the camera. They go to the range. They go to the tourist approved ranges, and they just stand there. They've got the two white petitions over their shoulder, at the back of their shoulders, and they've got the gun. They've got the gun like that. And I've seen that picture, like Patsy Hearst. I said to Dawson, like they all stood there like Patsy Hearst, yeah, in the gun range. And one of the gun ranges that I think it's in Miami, in Florida somewhere, one of the tourist areas. And hang on, I've just got to plug my phone in a minute. The only way out of the range is through the gift shop.
Yeah, there's a range in Cody or just outside of Cody. It's actually, it's like 20 miles, Cody, Wyoming or whatever. It goes to 1,500 yards, and it's a members only thing or whatever. So you pay a yearly membership, and everybody has to agree to the rules or whatever. But there's literally a road that runs down the side of it, so you can drive down there and do your targets and stuff. But it's not a tourist trap. I mean, people don't. I mean, everybody goes to Yellowstone, but they go on the south gate. Whenever we go to Yellowstone, we drive around to the north gate.
And the automatic weapons are chained to the table, which is absolutely just ridiculous.
I'm trying to figure out what a roundabout is.
It's a very small ring road that has several roads coming off it.
Oh, traffic circles? Yeah, I hate those things.
Yeah.
Where'd those originate? Was that Europe or was that England?
Say that again.
Where'd those originate from? Was that from some other country in Europe or was that from England?
I'm not sure actually.
We had one roundabout within driving distance of me, and they finally took it out. They called it a traffic circle, the one in Lubbock. Rob can remember that, I'm pretty sure. That was where you went to die, pretty much.
Tibor, here's one for you. Some of the ring roads, roundabouts in England, they actually have traffic lights, so you have to stop and wait.
Wow.
And that
I want to go try to drive a scooter in India, man. I'm gonna go the wrong way on the one way and stuff on the scooter. I just want to do it. Put my little leather helmet on and my American flag jacket and just go the wrong way on the one way in India on a scooter. I wonder how long it'd take before somebody threw me to a cow or something.
Don't know. I don't know if you watched Bill Engvall's. I remember he did like a stand-up comedy skit where he's talking about his wife buying him a motorcycle, and he comes to find out it's not a motorcycle, it's a scooter. And he said he'd already gotten a leather jacket with little tassels on it, and it had stitched in the back of it, "Kiss my,"
Yeah. No, I saw the one where Fluffy went to India or whatever. I was just like, yeah, I got to try this. So I started Googling it and watching people. Yeah, there's no way, man. I wouldn't try it. I would not go to one of those countries where everybody gets around on a scooter and try to run one, because those people are like y'all little evil Knievels. 50cc evil Knievels, man.
and they have their entire family on those scooters too, especially in places like Thailand.
Yeah, Thailand's one of the big ones with the scooters. They use scooters like 1-ton vehicles over there, man. It's crazy. I could turn the camera back on. I forgot I had it off. I was sitting there looking at my little space dude flashing. I'm like, what's wrong with that? Who was it? Somewhere we went to visit somebody, and we had to hit 2 traffic circles to get to their house. Who was that?
I don't know, but I remember my old hometown out in Plattsmouth, Nebraska. I remember when they built their first roundabout out there. That was something else. We actually had people that didn't know how to use it, mostly elderly people, and they'd be driving the wrong way on the roundabout.
First ticket ever.
Really?
First ticket ever in my life. Wrong way and one way. It was on the traffic circle in Lubbock, Texas. I'd never been to Lubbock. I'd never driven in Lubbock. And I exited a convenience store onto the road, but it was on the one way. And I did it right in front of a cop. And he followed me around the traffic circle, pulled me over, and said, "You know what you did wrong?" This is no. He said, "That's a one way. That traffic circle goes one way. If this had been any other time of the day, you would have died." I did it at like 2:30 in the morning. So, and he was like, "Do her parents know she's still out with you this late?" And I said, "Well, that's why I was in a hurry to go that way. That's where she lives." Anyway, long story short, that was a bad time in my life. But yeah, I don't like traffic circles. I know how to run them now, though.
I'm not gonna lie, they're annoying when you're in a semi truck and you're trying to not let your trailer eat the curb, but most of the time it's almost impossible, especially when you're pulling a 53-foot trailer and you're trying to go around those traffic circles. Pain in the
Well,
ass.
the ones I see all the time are like tiny, man. And I'm like, okay, the one in Lubbock was huge, but it's gone now, and there's an interstate that goes through there. So they kind of took out the traffic circle there a little bit. But I think that's where hold on, I don't want to be lying to y'all too much.
So traffic circles and railroad crossings with no lights. That's pretty crazy. They're Tibor.
Yeah, roundabouts with traffic lights.
Crazy, yeah. It's when it gets to a point that there's that many people driving. I'm sorry. There, like in Dallas Fort Worth, there should be like the deal that they use at the airport. That's what they need. You need to be able to step on it, go to a place close to where you need to be, step off, and then walk.
Are you talking about like building like a highway overpass with an underpass and then like a couple clover leaves? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about a trolley system. I'm talking about above ground train. I'm talking an elevated flipping train. I don't understand why there isn't mass transit in places like Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Oklahoma City. I don't get it. I mean, something besides city bus, for crying out. City bus takes forever. Okay. The subway, when I was up north, the subway made so much sense to me. You get on it, you go to where you're going, you get off, you walk a few blocks. You're there.
As long as it's not a New York City style subway, I can see this argument being valid.
Well, the problem with the New York City subway is there's not enough of them. It's limited in where you can get to and where you can't get to. I literally lived. I could walk to Newark Station in 5 minutes from my apartment. I could go anywhere. I could get to anywhere. I like them, and they make sense to me. If you could still grab a passenger train from Lubbock to California, there would be a lot of people that would ride a train from Lubbock to California.
Amtrak.
Amtrak doesn't run from Lubbock to California. There's no passenger trains out of whatever.
You can't get a passenger train to Lubbock.
Yeah, but it's the bus, man. It's not electric trains. You know what I'm saying? It's not you go to this point, you jump on. It's taking people off of the streets and put them onto a designated place.
Aid, wouldn't it be so cool if you could take a channel, a channel that ran from over there in Blackpool, England to Lubbock, Texas? Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be pretty cool, yeah.
And you know, I don't know. It'll never happen because there's more money in the auto industry than there is in mass transit. There's not enough money in mass transit for a private industry to invest in it. So it's not going to happen.
On top of that, we are kind of independent, and Elon Musk and Google, they're really trying to push for these self-driving cars. So that would be a thing, I think, before train travel.
I'm going to have to check into this, bro. I've ridden one over there, but it just goes from a couple of places to the airport. That's it. In Dallas, you can't go from, you can't jump on a train and ride from Dallas to Fort Worth.
Yeah, if I want to go from Dallas to Lubbock on my own, I'd have to get a turboprop or a Greyhound.
Don't do the Greyhound, dude. I'm just saying.
I've ridden on Greyhound.
Back in the day, Greyhounds were cool. You don't want to do it anymore.
That's how I originally wanted to see America, on a Greyhound. You can use the Greyhound bus as my hotel.
There's no privacy. You're wearing the same clothes that you started out with.
Maybe I can go and get showers at sports centres and the YMCA and get changed there. Go and look around where I want to go look around, then get back on the Greyhound, go to the next town or city.
I know when I drove over the road, which I'll probably start doing again here soon, I took my showers at the truck stops.
I'll research it, Rob, but the only one I knew about was the one you could grab and it would take you basically to the airport. There was a way to get basically to the airport. And I guess they do have some, but it's not as extensive as it should be. When you're that big, like, what is it? Is it Loop 820 or 620 or whatever it is, the one that goes south? There should be a rail.
Well, before I met all you guys, my original plan was to do the Greyhound along the 66.
You'd be better off just finding a really cool dude with a ponytail, and we'll just jump in a old Impala and we'll just cruise.
Yeah, really cool dude with a ponytail, wears glasses, has a Texas accent, and a decent beard.
Cut my beard off because
I'll be getting my decent beard back soon enough.
I'm seriously. I looked in the mirror and I was like, dude, you look old. So
my beard was that long, my beard, before I had to shave it.
That's harsh.
I remember your Mobius mustache. in one of the videos, like one of the live streams.
That's one of the things. Tibor brings up a good deal. The bus terminals now. That's a good place to die.
I was at the Greyhound bus terminal in Dallas.
Same in the UK, T-Boy. You get a lot of weird people at the city bus and train depots.
Is that the double-decker bus depots?
No, depots. The depot is the place. You go to the depot and there's like loads of buses there and maybe a train station next to it, like in Sheffield.
See, he wants to ride the Greyhound into Lubbock. Then he wants to get off the Greyhound there at the bus depot in Lubbock, and he wants to go to the depot district and hang out at all those different what do you call it, craft breweries and stuff. And then he wants to go over to the Buddy Holly Museum, and he's got all this whole Lubbock stuff planned out.
Wes, I did actually stop at when I was riding Greyhound from what the hell was it? Memphis, Tennessee to Colorado Springs. I literally stopped at the I did stop at the terminal in Lubbock.
It's
you've
probably
got the Bayer and Bayer Farming and Agricultural Museum. You've got the Wind Farm Museum. You got some interesting museums around that part of the world.
Dude, you get here. I really want you to get here because I love going to the museums and stuff in Lubbock. I mean, I haven't been to the.
I can't remember what it's called. It looks like a brand new building, but it's not. I believe it was the first women's only pilot college, and that's now a museum.
In the one in Sweetwater?
Might be.
It's
an amazing building. It's just absolutely amazing the way it was made. Brilliant.
There's a wasp museum in Sweetwater.
A wasp museum?
Women's air.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was about insects. I'm like, what?
No, it's dude. If it hadn't been for the women flying those airplanes, we'd have lost. The end.
Yeah, we had the same thing in the UK because all the men were at war and flying aircraft when the Spitfires and the Hurricanes were being delivered from the factory to the Air Force base. It was women flying those airplanes.
Yeah. There's a couple of them actually got shot down because they got spotted delivering or whatever. I can't remember all of it, but yeah, I'm a cultured guy. I like museums. I go to the art exhibit. Don't tell anybody. I sit there and I look at the trash cans like, wow, that's interesting. But and see, there's Paladera Canyon, Carlsbad. I've never been to Carlsbad. I can see bat shit here. So, and the thought of getting lost in a deep hole in the ground that they haven't found the bottom to, it's just a little unnerving.
We also want to go to a place called Spanky's. That's a burger joint in Lubbock. And I want to go to, there's a place called Tea to Go. And that's in Lubbock as well. And I'm going to upset them greatly.
What was that one restaurant and hotel you were talking about that you had Wes go visit?
Oh, the Ponderosa, the greatest place in America, too, right.
And that wasn't in Lubbock, that was Snyder, or where was that at?
That's off the 84 somewhere.
Yeah.
But
he's talking to my wife. Sorry.
That Ponderosa that you and your wife visited, where was that at? Was that in Lubbock or was that in Snyder? Where was that?
That was in Snyder. It's in Snyder. I'm not telling y'all where because y'all aren't ruining my dining experience. No, just
yeah, I made Dorse watch your Ponderosa video a couple of nights ago.
that I cheated when I took Robert Moore there, or when we got Robert Moore to eat there. I let them order off the menu, and then I just ordered something. I didn't order off the menu, and Lewis looked at me like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm not leaving here suffering. I was able to clean my plate. Nobody else did."
But it does say quite clearly on the sign, it's not what's on the menu, it's what you want.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember that now. I might
Yeah.
check that restaurant out. Like that burrito though, that one that was just drowning in cheese sauce.
Yeah,
That's
come on,
delicious.
mate. Come on, mate. Who doesn't want to eat that?
That looked delicious, hands down.
And that family, did you see the guy's face? I mean, that guy's not a small chap, he's quite a burly chap. And he was like, you know, he just looked at it and his face was a picture.
That would be a long way, but there's underground rivers that they've done dye tests on or whatever that run hundreds of miles underground. I'm reading the side chat. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll never know what goes on underneath the planet until the people that live in the middle come out and say, okay, we've had enough of you people out here making noise. Turn the volume down and become our benevolent leaders or whatever.
Are we making a reference to that movie Time Machine?
No, I was talking about the Hollow Earth thing, which would be super cool if it was real. But I don't think we're going to be that lucky. Especially if I read a book one time about what if dinosaurs hadn't gone extinct. We don't want that. But,
We wouldn't be here.
well, in the book we were. But the things they did to the people, it's just not nice. I don't know. I don't plan on going to Denver to find out. I haven't been to Denver since I was 18 or 19. And they were rude enough then. I've been through a couple of times since then, you know, on the way through, and we've stopped to visit and check things out. No, that was in Laramie. Yes, ma'am. No, Cheyenne.
Hey, Rob, to be clear, I've never, I've been through Idaho Springs when I drove over the road, but I've never eaten at, what was that, BU? I'm not even sure if I stopped there. I can't remember now.
Okay. I think what I need to do is go to Colorado again, but I need to avoid the populated areas. I think it's the same there as it is here.
I'm not going to lie. Colorado Springs, hands down, is probably going to be one of the most conservative, populated areas you're going to be in here in Colorado because it's military. Like a lot of military people here. There's a lot of people that are veterans, such as myself, that live here, like heavy military. And
I just want the people to unpurse their lips and freaking smile and throw a hand up and wave back, for crying out loud.
Well, if you come over here, I will.
Don't flat out tell me to go back to Texas. You know, hey, how about you kiss my ass?
No, I'll tell you. Hey, if you go back to Texas, can you take me with you?
But Rob is a whole lot of nice. Rob is a way nicer guy than I am. If y'all ever meet Rob, you will find out that Rob is a really sweet guy. He's got a big heart. He's willing to give everybody. He will turn the cheek. I'm pretty much after it's been. That's what you're not getting these two. So I mean, Robert's a lot nicer guy than I am.
Rob, that information is classified. All I can say is that if we were ever to have a nuclear exchange of any kind, after they nuke Washington, D.C., this area is next because we got 5 military installations here. including NORAD.
It's the same reason we're not moving anywhere. I would love the San Angelo area. Not happening. San Angelo's pretty. I've actually thought about trying to move down around dadgummit, where the rivers come together. What's it called? Junction. Thank you. Don't ridicule me. I've thought about Junction. Junction, Texas is so pretty. And the people are so cool. So is San Saba, honestly. Pecan, capital of the world. The guy that started all that was from San Saba, by the way. Okay.
Rob, I move a lot of military personnel out of that area. Not all the time. I haven't been there in a couple months.
Well, just let it go, Dior, unless you want everybody on the internet to know where your house is. Me, I ain't scared. You know, if somebody put a bullet in my head tomorrow, I'd be singing in God's choir day after, or that instant. So I'm not worried about it. But I personally think it's really important that people maintain, and that's something we'll go back on the prepping thing for a little bit. OPSEC's freaking important, people. It really is.
Yep.
You don't want everybody knowing everything about you until you've met them face to face. You don't want them knowing everything about you. You just don't. I mean, they could wind out to be weirdos. I mean, you just never know. I mean, there's been people that I've developed friendships with on YouTube that I've had to say on the phone to them, dude, if you ever talk to me again, there will be law enforcement involved. And these are people that I thought were way cool that I counted as friends. And then I found out that it's completely different. I mean, there's some wackos out here. And it's, you got to be careful. And I've got a lot of weird people coming under my channel now. Not so many in the live streams because there's too many wrenches out here. So that's not fun. But they show up in the comments. Y'all don't get to see. I've got so many different blocks on my comments. Y'all have no idea how many comments need to be approved on my channel that never make it out of the approved box.
I've got one person blocked on my YouTube comments. That's it.
Somehow or another, anonymous American had wound up blocked on West That's the Real One. I don't know how I found it. I went in there and I checked to see what was going on, and there was actually a couple people on my blocked deal that are regulars on the channel. I'm like, why are these people in the block? They were hidden from the channel. I had to unhide them. It explains why they hadn't been coming around to the live streams. I was like, okay, that's not, so I've got to find out who's got a wrench that is doing stuff they shouldn't be doing.
Well, it's not me because you haven't given me one.
That's why not everybody on here has a wrench. You've got to be pretty regular and pretty stable. I don't want trash from some other channel coming over here and affecting, and I'm not saying the people are trash. I'm talking some little war going on, coming over to my channel and knocking people that I consider cool out of the conversation just because over on some other platform they don't get along.
You talking like what happens on Staff Sergeant BA's channel? Like,
man, there's so many of those going on right now.
Yeah,
you have no idea. I follow a lot of people, and I don't get involved in that junk anymore because it's not worth it. And it's, you know, I don't allow it to come over here.
So you're talking about like he said, she said stuff.
I'm just talking about any of it. If you don't agree politically and y'all can't get along on somewhere else, don't, just because you notice somebody doesn't have a wrench over here does not give you the right to kill them on the channel, so you don't have to let them talk. When I find you doing that, you not only lose your wrench, guess what? Your name goes in the box that their name came out of. Because you've proved that you are 90% chicken shit and 10% water in my book. So you didn't use the wrench to maintain a level of moral accountability. You used it as a get even tool. I'm done. You know, you slap. I mean, it's a sucker punch. That's no. I don't play that, and that's of. I mean, there were people.
It's because
Yeah,
they like to
I've
say
been
stuff
blocked
that
from their
way,
channel because they found out they were blocked on mine, and I didn't block them. And it's caused big divides between me and people that I really have a lot of respect for on YouTube that won't talk to me now. And it wasn't something I did. It because people were doing this backhole stuff, playing both sides of a game and doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing. And, you know, they were using somebody else's platform to get even and take control of somebody else's life. It's not right.
I think the entire time I had a wrench with Staff Sergeant BA, of course, I don't go on his live streams too often anymore. I think I've legitimately blocked one person. That's the only time I've ever used my wrench privileges. And that was because that person was that he was a knee or something along those lines.
We're just, you know, there's people from all that BA stuff way on back, 3-4 years ago, that, I mean, they still come over to my live streams. And I go to their live streams. I don't chat it up because that's where some of the people are that won't talk to me. And it's just, it annoys me. And they're still, I mean, don't say one thing in one live stream and another thing in another live stream. Either it's not picking a side, but be who you really are on here. If y'all think that this is a pretend, if anything y'all see me doing on one of my videos or one of my talking point videos or anything, if y'all think I'm acting, y'all seriously need to pay closer attention to Netflix. This is me. This is just about as real as it gets. I'm an ass. You can ask my wife. Hey, honey, can I be a jerk? Do I pretend to be somebody I'm not? Yeah, I love you. Tell the truth. She said no twice. Yeah, this, you know, why? I mean, why be anything? And Rob, I love Rob's videos because that's him. Seriously. Unless we're together.
I was just thinking the same thing, T-Ball, yeah. It was like school lunchtime.
Me and Rob are like trying to have a conversation and stuff. And I have a conversation and Rob sits there like, is he ever going to shut up?
You didn't miss much, Rob. Believe me. A lot of patheticness.
Yeah. But anyway, that's I just got to figure out who's. And sometimes it's an accident, but I usually catch that in the side deal or whatever. But I've got to compare my moderators over there because it's easy. I've only got a few moderators over there, and I'll be able to compare my moderators over there to over here. And it's going to be somebody that still has a wrench over there that doesn't have a wrench over here. I'll be able to find them pretty quick. If it was an accident, it was an accident, and I'm okay with that because that happens. And that's on me. I should be paying closer attention over here. But the thing is, a moderator can go in and block somebody on the channel from the replay. That a moderator is a big thing. You don't make somebody a moderator on your channel unless you trust them. So, and after you've made somebody a moderator and they prove that you can't trust them, then you don't just take the wrench away. I mean, you can't trust them. So you don't need them around.
I don't understand why some people go on these God trips anyway. You know, these power trips.
Okay, Robert, be good. I'm gonna get off here too. It's been on here for 3 hours, 20 minutes. It's coming up on midnight. We may stick to midnight. I don't know. We'll see. There's only 8 people left in here.
Yeah. Good night, Rob. Shit.
We and the missus have discussed it, and I'm going to go ahead and buy a thing for this. So, and then I won't be limited. That way I can do the live streams here and over there and not run out. Plus, I can record the live streams and edit them and reissue them out in a condensed form. You know, whenever somebody craps on the conversation or whatever, like whenever we're actually having a serious topic about something, I can put those excerpts out instead of just, what'd you eat for supper tonight? I had Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Cheetos, ramen noodles, and hot sauce.
Some of the stuff we talk about in these live streams is like way important crap. Yeah, the dangerous roundabouts all over the country. Like, I mean, that is basic prepping to know where all the freaking traffic circles are in your area, so you can blow those puppies up in the case of a coronal mass ejection. I mean,
what'd you have for dinner tonight? I had Cheetos.
We like really get off on some good stuff.
Cheetos and corn water.
You use on your fried rat.
Cheetos and corn water. I like that.
Yeah, the cornerstone of an American breakfast.
Now I've got to freaking dump water out of a can of corn just to see what happens if you make oatmeal in it, because that just popped into my head.
Corn flavored
Back to
oatmeal.
that one subject though about the corn water. Okay, in the SHTF, the most I would do at that point, I would probably take that water, because I'm thinking of as a waste of water, rather than just throw it out. I might as well just throw it in my gravity-fed water filter, so that way I can make clean drinking water. I mean, it is already clean. It's just taking the corn flavor out of it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just, I mean, people got to realize that everything counts, and after you eat the corn, drink the water. There's probably enough water in that can of corn for you to digest it, or at least close. So, drink the water. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily just drink the corn water, but which it's actually really, the after you make, I don't know how y'all do your corn. I take the corn out of the can because it boils easier, and I put it in a pot. That's step 1. Because if you just put the whole can in there and try to boil it, the can will pop and it makes a mess. So you take the can and you
okay.
and you dump the can out of, or the corn out of the can into the pot, and then you put butter and salt and pepper in it. So after you eat the corn, then you've got corn juice that has butter and salt and pepper. It's soup.
And it goes great with Cheetos, apparently.
It goes great with Cheetos. It's like, You know what? I bet if you did the cracked wheat in that, I bet it would taste good. So I'm sitting there thinking about all the different ways you could reuse the water. The only thing that's going to be hard to get used to is the idea of drinking the water you pour off of your macaroni.
I don't, I like what Rachel Knight said earlier in the stream. I do exactly what she said. Just don't use as much water. And I'm talking about even like in regular everyday life right now, not in SHTF. I try to use minimal water so I'm not having to pour off as much.
Well, if you think about it, let's say you make macaroni and cheese for lunch, and then you're making something so y'all can have something to eat for supper. You've still got the mac and cheese water. You pour it through a bandana to catch, try to catch some of the stuff right off the top. And then you heat that back up and you dump your rice in it. It's going to taste a little different, but what cooked out of the macaroni and cheese is going to be in the water. So you're just adding a little bit of bump to the rice. And then you just take some Mrs. Dash and throw in there, put a couple of teaspoons more, of salt and pepper, and you actually have something with flavor that you can eat.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with corn flavored water. I actually like it. I get
you don't want to the can. Cans are lined. Yeah.
I take the ladle, scoop the juice out of the corn, and I'll stand there at the stove and drink it right out of the pot. I confess.
I do like the idea though of using like the corn water, the green bean water, and like making a stew, like a soup, like actually cut up some beef cubes or whatever, and make like an actual stew out of that water.
Well, me and Rob made corn soup at his house last year. Took forever. We tried to boil it with weeds. Boy, that was a lot of work. You could cook over weeds, but it's just wood so much better.
Rachel, I like cream of corn. I'll eat cream of corn cold. I like canned cream of corn.
I like to put cream of corn in my cornbread, but some people have a problem with it. I'm not pointing them out or anything. We're seeing some people there. You get hungry enough, you drink or you'd eat green bean baby food and carrots. Scoots away from people.
Well, don't forget to scoot away from the rest of us too.
That's like I prep pork and beans. That's one of my comfort foods. Okay, pork and beans are a comfort food.
I like pork and beans with Vienna sausage.
I make noises in there because that's where I was going with this. I don't have to worry about my missus stealing my pork and beans. Now,
bacon and beans on toast.
Do I have to worry about my
nice.
kids stealing my pork and beans? Yes. Did she take pork and beans home with her? I need to go check the pantry. She caught me. My daughter left while I was not here, so she'd probably go check and see if I have to go to the store.
Do you put Vienna sausages in your pork and beans? Because I do.
No, I usually just pop the top. Here we go. Shush. You pop the top. First, you set them on the dash so they get warm. Do not eat cold Vienna sausages. You pop the top. You drink all the juice, or half. You shush. And then you then you drink the rest of the juice. Don't say barf again. Because, yeah, Vienna sausage juice. There you go. I started to say weenie juice, but no, we're not going to go that route with it. Vienna sausage juice is good.
Well, like I said, I like Vienna sausages in my pork and beans, but I also like eating my pork and beans cold, but I also eat them heated up with either Vienna sausage or hot dogs in them.
All right. Do I have a package of it laying here? It's one of my favorite things. I go and I eat fried chicken periodically, like about once a week, and they have these seasoned packets. It's a seasoned sauce. It's kind of like salt and pepper, but it also has Mrs. Dash type stuff in it. It's from Chicken Express, but not the hot kind. I don't grab the hot kind out, but the normal, I keep that. If you take the pork and beans, chop up a couple of strips of bacon. I mean, this is just you're trying to make a meal for yourself. Chop up 2 pieces of bacon. Now you can put as much bacon in as you want to. And then put your pork and beans in there and 2 packets of the seasoned salt and stir it up. You have no idea how good that is. All you need is a biscuit and you're set. A tortilla will work in a pinch.
Ted, have you ever put cream of corn in cornbread, like cornbread mix, and then baked a loaf of cornbread? That's actually pretty good.
It's actually really good. I mean, it makes really moist cornbread. Baby food ham. Okay, thank you. That's what the apocalypse is going to hit and stuff, and I'm going to be out doing the whole, scavenging run, and I'm going to find cases of baby food ham.
And you're going to turn your nose to that?
No, I'm going to take it home. I'll just feed it to the cats and then eat the cats. Now, if the cat won't eat it, we'll have different trouble. But
I like cats. I can't picture myself eating a cat.
I like dogs too. They taste fine.
Not my own. I couldn't eat my own.
Yeah, no, I couldn't eat my own either.
Yeah, someone else's maybe.
Me and Sadie have an understanding. She can eat whatever she wants to, but so can I. It's as long as she's doing her job, which is to help me maintain food at this house, she's fine. But if she slacks, she's not in the house right now because the chickens were out in the yard. We let them out and just let them free range all over everything today. She's been guarding the chickens all day. So, yeah, I went and then there cut her a chunk off a steak because she's a good dog. She has ghosted those chickens all day long. I mean, she's the chicken herdingest dog I've ever seen in my life.
I guess another thing I should bring up that a lot of people don't consider about eating pets versus, and it almost goes all along the same lines as cannibalizing people. Pets have got, like I said, they are the second most second most creature that takes a lot of pharmaceutical drugs and stuff. So a lot of that stuff will still be lingering in their systems. So, you eat the meat and all that, you're going to also be getting some of those
Yes, eat the old dogs. Eat the fat, healthy ones.
The young, fat, healthy ones.
Don't, but trust me, you don't want to eat their owners either if their dogs are doped up because chances are they are too. Not suggesting that cannibalism is okay. I'm just saying that, one should keep one's options open in the event of shortages.
I'll keep my options open, but I'm going to try my best not to consider eating a cat or a dog until I've pretty much exhausted all of my food supplies. And for some reason, not get a garden going.
You know what a guinea pig is?
Yes, I do.
You know that guinea pigs are kept as household pets in the country they're from, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're for. They're not. I mean, they're kept as household pets. Why are they kept as household pets?
Don't know.
Because when you have company, you feed your household pet to your company.
Okay.
If you got too many mouths to feed, You eat the ones that walk on four legs. I am an animal lover. I rescue puppies off the side of the road, for crying out loud.
Animals taste good.
But, that billboard, where do you draw the line? It's got cows, chickens, pigs, well, and then there's a dog over here with a line or whatever. No. I mean, they're trying to say you shouldn't eat animals.
No.
I mean, my goats were pets. Gyro was my buddy. We hung out all day long, every day. And then I barbecued him. Okay. Bitty Boo, you still in here? I'm going to make a trip to Oklahoma, and I'm going to pick up 2 very good friends. And I'm going to eat them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like dogs and cats. Those are just kind of the animals.
Freezer camp.
Yeah, maybe cat's probably more than anything for me, but like I just can't. I don't know. I'd have to be in a really desperate situation.
Every one of y'all have met TK, my cat, Tiny Kitty, also known as ATK, Annoying Tiny Cat.
Nope, I don't think so.
Anyway, she's a little Russian gray with a white nose and yada, yada, yada. Ask her if I'll shoot her. It was an accident.
I'm sure you will.
I've already done it. It was an accident. But anyway, she knows where she stands. I don't want to eat pets, and I'm serious. It would have to be pretty hard times. But I don't want to be hypocritical about it. I'd starve to death. Yeah, and that's the deal. She gives me the half that's got the most meat on it. I mean, why would I not let her live long? I mean, my cat brings me food all the time. She's a very sharing animal. The other day, I got up, came in here and sat down, and the cat had spent the night in the house.
Well, so are cats, T-Ball. They keep vermin away.
Yeah. I sat down. I had my first cup of coffee, and I saw the cat, and I'm like, hey, I forgot to let you out last night. And I couldn't find her, so I clicked the overhead on, and I looked behind me, and there's 3 dead rat butts or mouse butts. She stacked them in the floor behind me. So she was sharing with me. She does that to the dog. She killed 2 rats the other day. She ate half of one, gave the back half to Sadie, and then she went and killed another one and brought it to the other big dog.
Yeah.
My animals are awesome, but I would eat my animals. Let's put it this way. I'm eating Sadie before I'm eating Tyler, because Tyler's skinny. No, I mean, I'm not gonna, I'm going to eat I'm going to eat your Chihuahua before I eat your kid. Simple as that. I'm going to eat your guinea pig before I eat your cat, but I'm going to eat your pets before I eat you, because that's just the human thing to do.
Yeah.
That's true, Ted. Very true. Starvation will take over. And,
I was going to say that book, if anybody's ever read the book 1 Second After, it does do a really good illustration of people eventually coming down to having to eat their own pets. But again, this is why we prepare. This is why we stockpile food, so we don't have to do that.
Right, exactly. You don't want to eat your pets, your neighbor's pets, your neighbors. You better have some food put up.
Yeah.
You better have a garden. You better have the ability to grow your own food. You better know how to grow your own food. You better know the difference between an elk and a horse. Because trust me, in a major reset, a horse is going to have a whole lot more value to someone than you are. That horse can move more gear than you can. That horse doesn't need anything but grass. and water.
Yeah. Oh, there's 2 books. There's at least a couple of books where the horses ended up being food.
Well, yeah, that's the other end of it. I mean, it's a really big dog.
I would say we don't have rodent problems here, but like last summer we had a lot of moths. And we get insects that go into the house, and I tell you what, man, it don't take very long, and the cats are zeroing in on them moths. It's funny.
I love you, Rachel. Now, if your neighbor sees that comment, she's going to be like, "My dog's missing, and I can't find it. We need to go talk to Rachel. I think she ate my dog." It was yapping, and then I smelled barbecue, and I think she ate my dog. And honestly, any meat's edible, but there's some of it out there that you want to be careful with because your chance of catching something from eating a predator is a lot higher than catching something from eating a herbivore.
Yeah, exactly.
Omnivore. The problem with hogs and eating them, and you have to cook them so well, is because they'll eat anything, meat, vegetable. They don't care. Coyotes, believe it or not, are omnivore, but they prefer animal protein. But they'll eat corn, watermelon, grapes, whatever.
I think most of the canines are omnivores because I remember having dogs in the past, and I would see them out in the yard eating grass, like straight up eating grass, not just chewing on it, eating it and digesting it.
What? If they got a high protein, if they're eating a lot of meat, mine do it. They go out and have a salad after they have their rat butt because they just do.
I've heard that too, Tibor, out in those parts of the world, yeah.
I've heard that, Tibor. I also watched Faces of Death or whatever, where it showed them doing the live monkey brains. Yeah, I'm not going there either. Coexist this. I do not want y'all's culture in my country. There are some things that they do in the Far East, in the Middle East, and in South American stuff that I don't want going on here.
Yes.
Don't.
Rachel, exactly. That is exactly what Wes meant.
Yes, vegans first.
Yeah, vegans, take the tofu, it'll do.
Yeah.
Just hold
vegans that don't believe in immunizations, shots, or pharmaceuticals, the ones that are just all natural.
I'm tell you right now, if you're in Canada and you go for the vegans up there, you're probably gonna want to cook them outside because they're all full of
Canadian vegans. There's this woman on YouTube called That Vegan Teacher. Man, she is so prejudiced towards human beings. It's unreal.
What's the chick?
Go look. She keeps coming on my home my recommended page for some reason, and it's just crazy.
I think I would have to let if I went after Hooples, I would like serve him to all my guests and stuff because I know that guy would leave a bad taste in my mouth. I can only go so far left and be open-minded. And then I'm just like, I can't take it anymore. I have my brain short circuits and I'm just like really wanting to scream through the screen or whatever, but I don't want to feed them. You don't feed them. I feel sorry for the left. I mean, they're so brain dead.
They're zombies.
They literally can't carry it all the way to the end. It's like, okay, You can't have free stuff without somebody paying for it. And if you're having to pay 50 cents on the dollar in taxes, seriously, I mean, you couldn't get me to move to Canada and live there. I'm not going to pay you 50 cents on the dollar for everything I make in taxes. They want to do that here.
Oh, hell no.
They want to pay for everything. It's 50 cents on the dollar. And then they still also want to have the sales tax and stuff. No.
Hey, what were you saying before about eating a Canadian vegan? You said you gotta cook them really well outside or something like that. Because what?
I was just busted on Canadian vegans being full of shit.
I thought you were gonna say because they do a lot more of that green stuff.
Yeah. You talk about something that makes a lot of farts. Vegans are the reason there's so much global warming. Yeah, high fiber and high vegetable diet. It's just part of it.
You know, it's great when you go throughout your day and you have them walking farts.
Oh yeah, okay. We're just talking trash. She's right. We are just talking trash. So anyway, I wonder if marjoram would help the taste of vegan. I know it helps sausage a lot. Anyway.
Timor says he's going to taste
Mustard and
like
hot
corn
sauce.
water.
I don't
Cheetos.
even do hot sauce.
It's staying in my head. I'm not saying it out loud, but that was funny.
What?
Anyway, yeah. There are some lines I will not cross on my own line of street. But yeah, we could sit here, we could pick people apart all day, but that's not what we're about here. We're about helping people. Anyway, political differences set aside. Everybody do a little bit of something. Seriously, $5. Take $5 of your paycheck every week and go to the Dollar Tree. You can walk out with 2 days worth of groceries for $5.
Last year I did a $10 or less prep video. It didn't get very many views. I think I got like 100 or something like that.
My views are way down because I'm not putting out any flipping videos. People have pretty much abandoned my channel. If I don't get out there and start doing some stuff, I'm going to be in a hurt. But it's the last few times I've tried to go somewhere to make videos, I wound up working on stuff more than I did shoot videos. So I don't really have anything to put out. So I've got to go shoot videos.
I need to go up there with you and Rob and do like a camp out with you guys, like a camp out, bug out, exercise.
Well,
that would make good YouTubing.
I would like to. I want to do one, but I want to do it. I want to go to the Ozarks. I want to go to the. That's my number next. Is I want to head for the Ozarks and try to do it this fall.
I've got to go to the Ozarks and do fish and chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome, Rachel. I subscribed to you tonight.
Yeah, I tried. I used to make content, but this whole seriously, this whole COVID thing threw me in a loop, and I've been actually more focused on doing the things, and you can only spend so much time farting with a camera. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to justify doing that much. All right, there it is. There's the record. We broke the record. We're at 3:49, 48, 51, whatever. By the time we get through saying goodbye, we have blown our 3 hour and 47 minute mark all to pieces.
I was gonna say we could end up doing like what was it High Desert Pioneer did and accidentally fall asleep on the live stream.
Oh wow! No,
Yeah,
see,
I remember that, Rachel. I was out on a staff. I was on a staff night out when I saw that.
I
Yeah.
think they actually this thing actually cuts you off at 4 hours if you don't pay for it. So we're fitting to lose.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Anyways, God bless all you people. Y'all have a good day, good night, good day, good morning.
Yeah.
Stay alive, don't die. Y'all can tell them goodbye, and then I'll shut us down.
Yeah. Goodbye, guys. And Wes, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to your live stream. It's been great. And you guys have all been great in the chat. Abe?
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you all have a good week. Take care, everyone.
Y'all all be blessed. Do something nice for somebody, even if it hurts. If it hurts a lot, you did too much. Okay.